Well, hey guys, good afternoon. Al Getler here at the Virtual Convention Central. Go ahead. I see already, people are arriving. Here's Dwayne. Dwayne has arrived. If you have not heard, Dwayne has raised, I think it's $5,250 for the convention. I'm sorry, for the museum so far. I gotta get my sea legs out from under me, huh? Hey guys, one thing as you're signing on, in the video, if you make the video large and if you're watching on Facebook, there is a, if you click on the video, it becomes the bigger part of your screen. There's a comment section to the right. In there, you can go ahead and approve StreamYard to show me your name so I can see your name in StreamYard when you comment. I'll give you an example. Chuck Lyons, Chuck has gone ahead and had his name registered with StreamYard. Hi, Chuck. Dennis Acosta has had his name registered with StreamYard. Okay, here's another person, had their name registered with StreamYard. So we're good. That's fantastic. Joshua, there you go. A little praise for Wayne there. There's our good friend, Stacy Michaels. She is there, a staple at the convention. Hi, Wilma. Wilma is here. Thanks for joining us. Again, if you want to be like Wilma, go ahead to the video section of the Facebook feed and click on that, and you will give them permission to show your name. And you could be like Ron Shear. You can see Larry. Yes, I see you, Stacy. There you go. There's your comment. Good stuff. There's Karina. There's John. Whoops, I missed John. There's Brian. Boy, there's so many of you coming. Hey, there's Max Fulham. Look at that. One of the stars of last year's convention. My old friend Whit Smith. I knew him back when he was Bill. So look at that. Fantastic. Terry Allen from Scotland. Hey, if you're dialing in from another country, it's an international deal. Let me know. That's fantastic. I love it. Hi, Smith. How are you? One of our good puppet makers there. Fantastic. There is Adam. Hi, Adam. How are you? Good to see you. There's Doug Morrison. This is great. Everybody's showing up. Dan Clemente, does this work? Yes, sir, it does. Are you flying in an airplane right now? Let's see. Bill DeMar. How are you, Bill? Good to see you. Bill DeMar Crow. Good to see you. Rob Wheels Newman. Hi, Rob. Ken Dunn. Joe Franklin. David and Rowena are here. Let's see. Jay Holtz is here. Hello, how are you? The Clown Alley, the good stuff. I like that there. That's good to see. Fantastic. Let's see. I don't see where you allow Streamline. If you go, you're already there, Mike. You already gave them permission. You're good. Hey, there's our good friend, Tom Ladge. You're sort of foreign, Tom. Yeah. That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. The man, the legend, a guy who I just love so much and is really so important to all of us invent, Jay Johnson. So, Jay, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see. Neon is here from Singapore. Hey, great to see you. Cute little kids there as well. That's awesome. Paul is there. Let's see here. The Facebook. So that's what happens if you don't give StreamYard permission. And I know I got to prop myself up here a little bit. There you go. If you don't give StreamYard permission to use your name, they will not use your name. So keep that in mind. You got to go in there and give StreamYard permission. So that's good. Eddie Siller is here. Hi. Let's see. Who do we have here? Hello from Wally and Virginia Peterson. That's a good way to do it too. Tom Pace. Hello. How are you? Let's see here. Donald. Oops, I just missed Donald. There you go. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Good stuff. So boy, you guys are coming at me so fast. I can't even get everybody on there. We got to get the show moving here really soon. Scott Bright, hello. How are you? Benita, hello. Carlo, hello. Fantastic. There's Donald. Hi, how are you? And look, there's Steve Hewlett from Sussex, England, an international convention, 100%. So, folks, I'm going to try to show your comments throughout as much of this as I can. I'm going to try to get as many people on here with questions if we have time when we are interviewing our guests. But for now, we are going to be going to what's a pre-recorded part of our programming. And so one of the things I'm going to need you to do when I do the pre-recorded part, I want to do an audio check on all of our platforms. If you don't know today, look, here's somebody, I just noted this, somebody here from South Africa. That's fantastic. Hello, Belinda. Welcome. Truly an international. Roger Dunn here from the UK. This is absolutely so great. We have people here from all over the world. I'm so happy to see all the folks here. We have a huge crowd of people forming. It's only going to get better. Let me tell you really quickly before I get going here. We're going to go to a pre-recorded part of the convention soon. I'm going to be showing that to you. I'm going to be taking a step back. But I'll tell you right now that we have Mark Wade coming up real soon to officially greet you, followed by Landon Harvey, who's going to be on screen doing some puppetry with you. Then Liz von Seggen doing some basic vent work. And I got to tell you, as I said the other night during the museum broadcast, you need to absolutely be a part of this when you're talking about beginning vent. I listen to every vent whose workshop I go to, and I learn something new every single time. So really important that you do that. So really good. It's the lawnmower still for sale. That's great. So anyway, it's coming up in just a moment. I'm going to hit that button. We're going to go. And then I mentioned Landon Harvey. I mentioned Liz. And then Tom Crowl is going to talk about bringing your puppet alive. So folks, keep saying hello. I'm going to see those comments on the side. I'll get back to as many of them as I can. So I'm going to ask you now, just because this is live broadcasting, when I start the video, give me an audio check and say, yes, I can hear it loud and clear. And that helps me understand that you guys are seeing what you need to see and hearing what you need to hear. So I'm about to kick off the virtual convention with our pre-recorded first part. I want you to please give me a thumbs up that you are hearing everything. And here we go with the 2020. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, but we're doing it virtually. The 2020 Ventriloquist Convention.
Hi everybody, this is Mark Wade, and I'm your Executive Director for the Ventriloquist International Ventriloquist Convention. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the convention this year due to the virus. However, we do want to give you a taste of what a real convention is like. The fun, the camaraderie, and the learning that takes place. So right now, here's a clip from 2019 to get things started. I hope you enjoyed that clip. I think you got a chance to see how much fun learning is taking place in the camaraderie at the Ventriloquist Convention. Well, right now it's my pleasure to introduce a new and upcoming lecturer, puppet maker, and ventriloquist. His name is Landon Harvey, and he's going to teach you about creative character building. So, Landon, take it away.
Hello, are you starting now? Yeah, we're gonna start the video. Okay, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. You gonna do it now? I just tried to. Yeah. Can you hold on for a minute? Sure. All right. My name is Landon Harvey. Hey, what? Are you gonna do the video now? I just told you I was gonna do the video. Can I do the introduction? No, I was gonna do the introduction. Okay, I'll do the ending. Whatever. All right. Can you just sit over there? Sure. Okay. You're gonna do really good at this, right? Yes, I'm gonna give it my all. All right. 110%. Yep, my name they used to always say. All right, thank you, Mervin. You're welcome. All right. Maybe I should just start from the beginning. Redo this video. No, you're okay. Go ahead. All right. Hello, my name is Landon Harvey. For those of you that don't know of me, I'm a ventriloquist and puppet builder based in Dallas, Texas, and I've recently been doing a series of Facebook Live interviews called Landon Live, where I interview entertainers in art and how they got into it. Today, we're going to talk about creative character building, so I hope you're ready. Now, when you start puppet building, you're going to realize that it's mostly a trial and error process because you're going to be rushing to want to finish your first puppet to show everyone, look, I built a puppet, and it's an exciting thing. I've built a few that were very crude, and some of them actually sold. Yeah. But you will find that the more times that you build, the more you get better, and the more you learn what not to do from what you did last time. And you grow. You grow as an artist, and you grow as a builder, and that's important. Some resources that I want to give to you to start your puppet building are Adam Krutinger on YouTube. All of his videos are free, and he has, I believe, some patterns on his website, adamkrutinger.com, where you can, or it's krutingerpuppets.com, where you can buy his patterns and implement them into your own build. But he's got a series of videos that talk to you about different types of fabrication for puppets, ways to glue foam together so you get really neat shapes for puppets. And he details everything that he uses in the comments too. So you're able to use exactly the same materials he is and follow his process, which is absolutely amazing. Another resource is Barry Gordimer. Barry Gordimer has been doing some amazing soft puppet builds lately. He also does blinkers, and you've probably seen his stuff around the world events and on his page. He has a course on Curious Mondo that takes you through the build of building a Barry Gordimer puppet. It includes hours of different videos on how he does each part of the puppet, and it also includes his patterns, so you're able to follow along as if he's right there next to you, walking you through the puppet process. It's a great course, it's affordable, and you should really also check it out. I got into puppet building when I was 16. My friend Langston Hatch had sent me some patterns and said, you should try this out, I think you'd enjoy it. And I fiddled around with those patterns and made a few puppets, and then I took those patterns as inspiration and created my own patterns so that each one of my puppets had a different shaped head or body, and they all had their own unique taste. So you couldn't exactly tell if I built that puppet or that puppet. And I still abide by that today. That way, all of my work looks different. And if I have a client that wants to buy something from me, it doesn't have that typical look that I am associated with the build, which allows them to feel like it's more unique to themselves. But let me show you some of my work from the past and now from the future. Here we go. Here I have with me my first Mervin. How was your thirst? You're my first Mervin. Are you? Yeah, yeah. You can see he's a little crude looking. Well, you would be too if you were as old as I am. How old are you? I can't remember. Okay. Anyway, this is the original Mervin. You can see that his eyes aren't even. Hey! Why would you do that to me? You gonna cannibalize me? Parts? No, I wouldn't do that. Okay, good. I wouldn't reuse anything that I built on you because I've gotten better since. But I feel personally attacked. Okay. You can see how his eyes are made with ping pong balls, and then you just put a little backer to that, and you're able to have a full eye. That is actually a teddy bear eye that you can buy at a Hobby Lobby, and you can buy them in different colors. You can also buy them on Amazon. And so you can that's one way to personalize your puppet. Yeah. And I want you to take a look at the uvula, and there was done with Sharpie, and then this was done with a lower quality foam that was also painted with a acrylic paint versus an airbrush paint. And I can talk about that a little bit more later on. But you can also see that the whole lining of his mouth, it's kind of crude. Yeah, it was hot glued in. And when you do a puppet mouth, you want to make sure that if you're going to hot glue it, you keep consistent all around the sides. I don't hot glue my mouths, and I usually end up sewing them. Yeah. And you'll see that on another character. This was the first Mervin, and I'm going to show you what Mervin looks like today in my act. Has that changed a lot? Well, you've changed for the better. Is it just in the clothes, or is it also the actual look? You've gotten a lot better. You look more symmetrical. Oh, great. So I can finally retire? Well, you can. The other guy's still working. Well, yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and cut to the new Mervin. New Mervin. So here is the new Mervin. I'm the new Mervin. Right. Yeah. And you can tell that the detail in his mouth, as well as the lip line, is a lot cleaner. And he's got better shadowing. I used acrylics as well as airbrush on this character. And I gave him moving eyebrows, which allows him to have another level of movement on stage. And it also allows him to be asleep. Let's see, be asleep like this when he's on stage, which is how I enter with him. He's asleep. And then when he wakes up, he can flirt with people in the audience, and he can react to what I'm saying. So adding a little movement in this type of puppet allows him not only to have a range of motion, but it allows for more of the comedy in the act, because when I bring him out, I have his eyebrows are dropped like this, so they almost act as eyelids. So he's asleep, and I enter the stage, and he's sleeping, and I have to wake him up. So I built him like that so I could add that to the comedy, and because it's just a little subtlety that allows the audience to connect with the character because it makes him more human. It's great. Yeah. So you can see how through puppet building, more and more, the more you puppet build, the more you build, right, the litter you get, right? Hopefully, right, yeah. Maybe you'll be litter one day too. Okay, thanks. Well, I'm going to now show you a couple of puppets that I've built and kind of explain why I built them a certain way that I did. Ooh, it's going to be fascinating. Thank you. It was sarcasm. Okay, let's just go ahead and go to the montage. So this is a cat character. Hi, how are you? I'm okay. Good. How are you doing? You look like you need to see a doctor. I need to see a lot of people. Yeah, you do. Yeah. He was built as an homage to the hoarder's cats because he's flattened and he's got a bunch of different little trash and food, and he's got a pill bottle. He's actually a side character to my main character, Patty. And Patty is an older lady, and she finds out that she's had a cat for years. She doesn't realize that it's still living with her. And so this is a cat I bring out later in the act, and that I actually hold by the tail, and I've got a few movements on him where I operate him from my left hand and puppeteer her with my right. And he could also be a solo character. I'm still writing for him. But you could also build puppets where they're rod puppets and you cover them in foam and fabric so that they appear to be soft. And that allows you to do different things. If you want a puppet with a longer neck that might be smaller where you can't put your arm in it, that is when you're going to want to use a rod puppet. So it's important to be mindful in the build and to always sketch out your design before you build it. Adam Krutinger has some great stuff on building rod puppets that you can go check out. And I'm sure if you look up building rod puppets on YouTube, you can also find some other builders that weigh in on how to do it. This is Rodney, right? And he is a rat. I'm a mouse. Rodney, the rat sounds better though. I'm a mouse. All right. I'm a mouse. Okay. You're a mouse. And he is the most basic puppet I have. You know, that hurts. The way I built him, can I show you? Huh? Can I show them you? What? I'll show them you. Okay. Oh. The way he is built is where there's nothing inside of him. He is just this fur, and I added on his arms and his legs, and of course his ears, tail, eyes, and then his tooth there. But his whole body is one pattern. I just traced it out to fit my hand properly so it fits like a glove. And then when I go in the puppet, I can get a lot of movement depending on how I choose to move my hand. So if you want a smaller puppet like this, whether they're popping out of a prop or you're just bringing them out like this is always a great option because it's easy for a first build. You're able to take your time on it and you can get a lot of different expression from it, which is a lot of fun. And Roddy is still a character I use today. I built him a couple of years ago. Yeah, and I've been upgraded since, right? So there he is. There I am. Now, I'm going to take you to a few different stores that I like to go to when I puppet build and show you options on what you might be able to get when you build your first puppet. Let's go. Hi guys, Landon Harvey, and I am in Joann Fabrics, and I'm going to show you everything you'll need for your puppet. So I go to Joann's mostly for the fabric. When I have something that I don't need, most of the time I buy it online, but when I build my basic puppets or when I started building puppets, I bought from Joann's. It's great, and you've got a lot of options. So let's go ahead and check it out. Here we have a bunch of different felts you can get. Felt is great to use for the interior of the mouth. You can also cut it out and use it for tongues of your puppet. This is a good fabric for the interior of the mouth. A lot of puppets have this darker red because it allows the tongue, which is pink, to have a bright contrast compared to it. Here's a bunch of different furs. You can get furs from here, and they have great fur. You can also get them on eBay or Etsy. Sometimes you can get stuff on Amazon as well, but it's important to check out your dimensions. Also, here are all the anti-pill fleece, and they're solid colors, and you've got a vast array of different colors to choose from for your character. They've got some close to flesh tones up here. And then if you wanted to make more of a Muppety character where it's more of a bold color, you could choose one of those as well. And these are great. These are only, $12 a yard. And you can also download the Joann Fabrics app and get discounts every time you come in here. They also print you out discounts when you leave, so it ensures that you'll be back. It's really great. When I started building puppets, I used this fabric, and then I moved on to Antron fleece, which I buy in bulk online and dye myself. But this is great for a starter puppet, and if you want to practice sewing, you can practice sewing with that fabric. It works great for on the machine and hand sewing, so make sure to check that out. Now I am at Walmart where I get foam. So they have different types of foam. You can use 1/2 inch for a normal puppet head, or you can use the 2 inch. You can use if you want to carve it down. You can also use 1 inch. They sell that as well. It runs you around anywhere from $10 to $15, and you can make a few puppets with it. So it's great. So that should give you some great ideas on what you'll need and where you'll be able to get them when you start your puppet build. It's important that when you watch these instructors build the puppets, that you really take in the creative process and make it your own. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on the Ventriloquist groups on Facebook, and also make sure to share your progress, as we'd love to comment on it and see where you're at with your puppet build. Also, in 2021, Bob Rumba and I will have a Creating a Character workshop on the International Venhaven groups on Facebook, and we are excited to have you there, and we look forward to doing the lecture. It'll be everything from creating a puppet character to turning it into an actual on-stage character, which talks about voice, manipulation, a plethora of stuff that's going to be chock full of information and a lot of fun. And it's going to be a perspective that you're not going to want to miss. So we hope to see you there. And all I have now is that I hope you're inspired, and I hope you're able to get out there and literally make some friends. My name's Landon Harvey, and take care.
Besides all the fun that we have at a ventriloquist convention, there's also a lot of learning that takes place. So today we're going to show you someone that knows a lot about the vent basics. She teaches it, she lives it, she's a professional ventriloquist herself. So please make welcome Liz Von Seggen with her Fun with Ventriloquist Basics.
Hi there. My name is Liz Von Seggen, and we are here to have some fun with the basics of ventriloquism. Now, this is my favorite puppet. Ta-da! Taffy the duck.
No, Taffy the cute duck.
Taffy, the name is just Taffy the duck.
But I am cute. Do you like these big eyes?
I do. Where'd you get those big eyes?
It came with the face.
Well, Taffy and I are just going to play today and introduce you to a few basics of ventriloquism. So, Taffy, tell us, what does it take to be a ventriloquist?
First, you gotta have a cute puppet
Well, you do have to have a puppet that you like.
that you love. Do you love me, Miss Liz?
I do. I actually really like this duck.
And I do like you too.
Well, you know what? When you pick your puppet, it has to be something that appeals to you. But you need a puppet.
How come?
Well, if you're going to be a ventriloquist, you have to bring life to a puppet.
Like me.
That's right. And you know, you need also to be really motivated.
What?
Motivated.
You gotta get into a motor car?
No, motivation means you got a strong desire to become a ventriloquist.
Can I do it?
Well, you're a puppet.
But I'm a smart puppet.
Well, the puppet really does what the ventriloquist wants the puppet to do.
No way, Jose.
It's true. It's important, if you're going to become a ventriloquist, that you have a puppet you really, really like.
Like me.
And you have a strong desire to work hard.
I don't want to do that.
Well, you know, if you wanted to play the piano, what would you need?
A piano.
Yeah, but you couldn't just sit down and, because you had a piano, play it.
Sure you could.
Wait a minute. No, you have to have the tools, a teacher.
Like you?
Yeah, you need a teacher, somebody to teach you what to do when you sit by the piano.
Or with a puppet.
Yes, like you. So you have to also, Taffy, have average intelligence.
What?
Well, yes, you have to really use your brain.
Oh, I don't have one of those.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can use my brain.
Is it a good one?
Well, you have to have average intelligence.
Well, I'm no dumb ducky, you know.
That's good. And also, it's kind of important that you have a place to use your ventriloquism.
Like where?
Well, like at school.
I don't like school.
No.
They make you study.
Yes, but that's where you get smarter and smarter.
Yeah, but I don't want to study.
Well, you know, it's summer now, so you don't have to worry about that. But if we're really going to learn ventriloquism, you have to learn a few things to use in order to become a ventriloquist?
Like what?
Well, you've got to learn how to hold your mouth. Ta-da! Well, you need lip control.
I don't have any lips, just a beak.
Well, I have to control my lips, and we're going to get to that a little bit later.
So let's get started.
Okay. Well, one of the first things that you need to do when you pick up your puppet is learn how to hold it.
Yeah, close.
No, actually not.
No?
No, you don't want the puppet to be too close. Like if I grab the puppet like that, it's like a stuffed animal.
Oh, I like that.
You want the puppet and you to share the stage.
No,
What do you mean, no?
I are the star.
I am the star.
No, you ain't.
What I'm trying to do is say that that's not right.
I know, 'cause you ain't the star. I am.
Well, there you said it. I am the star. And true, the puppet needs to be slightly in front of the ventriloquist, but don't bury yourself and your puppet profile
Ooh.
because we're both actors.
On the stage.
That's right. So I need to play to the audience, and so do you, Taffy.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Well, I tell you what, it is important that we are pretty much eye level.
What?
Eye to eye. Not that close. But we do want the staging of our character to be about at our eye level with the puppet's eye level
How come?
so that we can be equal.
Not exactly.
Well, not exactly. But if we put the puppet down here,
Where'd she go?
that's not a good spot. And if we put the puppet up here,
Oh, I like it. I could sit in her hair.
you would sit on my head?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that. You see, I'm looking up to you.
Do it again.
I don't want to do that. We're equals. We're both actors on the stage.
Oh. But I could sit on your head
Yes.
and I could lay an egg.
No, that would be so ooey gooey.
Haven't you heard of egg shampoo?
Taffy, that is not a laughing matter. Yes, learning to hold your puppet straight, comfortable,
Maybe standing.
yes, on your hand or maybe on a stand is all about how to get comfortable with just the puppet you're going to bring to life.
Ta-da!
So we just want to be comfortable, a little bit of space between us, eye level, and about facing the audience.
We gotta do that.
That's right. So the people over there want to see you,
Of course.
and the people over there want to see you,
Oh, yes.
and they want to see me too.
Oh, no.
Yes, they do. You see, we need to both be actors. So that's holding the puppet so that the puppet can come to life. What are you doing now?
I gotta lay an egg.
No, you don't. We're trying to teach ventriloquism here. Taffy, Taffy, this is not the place for egg laying.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely positive. I'm trying to help someone out there learn about becoming a ventriloquist.
But I gotta lay an egg.
No, you don't.
You know the old saying,
What?
an egg a day keeps Colonel Sanders away.
You know what? He kills chickens.
But when it comes to Colonel Sanders, I'm a chicken.
Taffy, settle down. Why don't you just simply do something for me easy?
What's that?
Can you count to 10?
I can.
All right, count to 10 for me.
1, 2,
What comes after 2?
buckle my shoe.
I mean, what number comes after 2?
I don't know.
Oh my. You see, the key is I'm putting the words in her mouth.
No, she isn't.
Yes, I am.
Oh, no. Is that how ventriloquism works?
It is. I'm going to have to take her back to Study a little bit more.
Hey, Miss Liz,
Yeah?
I can count in a song.
Okay. Let me hear you sing. What are you doing?
I gotta get ready.
Well, you don't have to get ready like that. You can warm up like this. La, 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 la.
Yeah.
No. Repeat after me. Me, 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 me.
You.
Never mind. You know a song?
I do.
Let's hear it. You did that already.
That was for you. 1, 2, 3. You can talk like me.
Yes, they can.
4, 5, 6. Just learn these easy tricks.
Well, they're not tricks, but they are tools.
7, 8, 9. Try using funny lines. You're a ventriloquist.
Ooh, that's a hard word.
A ventriloquist. Today! Hooray!
As you continue in your journey to learn ventriloquism, the next thing you're going to need is a voice for your puppet. It's really important that the voice you develop for your character fits the character, that it's comfortable for you to produce and sustain, and it's comfortable for your audience to listen to as well. Let me teach you the most common ventriloquist voice for little partners like a boy or a little critter, or maybe even like my duck, although my duck has a little bit different voice. But it starts with this basic quality, the nasal voice. Try saying the word sing, but when you get to the end of the word sing, really exaggerate that N sound and the G sound like this. Sing. Did you hear that exaggeration? Sing. Yeah. Now I want you to try say a little word that kind of captures that sound. Say yeah. Yeah. Or you could be positive and say yeah. Yeah. Now, if you can say a nasal sound on one word, you can stretch it to 2 or 3. So try this sentence.
Nah, I don't like that.
Really squeeze. Some people call it a pinched voice or a squeezed voice. What's happening is you're forcing the air up into your nose and those nasal passages. And what you have is a wonderful little puppet sound.
Yeah. Nah. Nah, I don't like that.
Try it.
Nah, I don't like that.
Or,
Yeah, I like that.
now, that's what you do when you start, but to keep that nasal sound, you really have to keep practicing and let your ears tell you, do I have it or have I gone back to my voice? It's kind of hard to go back and forth between your voice and your puppet's voice, so it takes a lot of practice. Much like learning to play the piano takes a lot of practice too. If you want to spend a little bit more time with the technique of how do you develop a character voice, how do you keep a character voice for your little puppet friend, you might want to check out a couple more of my tools that have been produced by Creative Ministry Solutions. There's a CD called Developing Character Voices, in which I teach a number of character voices. And then there's a DVD too that's available for your help and training called Fun with Character Voices. Both of those are available from Creative Ministry Solutions on the internet. Let's move on. Let's move along to lip control. Now, some people think we really become a ventriloquist when we can learn to talk without moving our lips. But lip control involves 2 things. It involves the puppet learning the right lip movement or mouth opening, and it involves the ventriloquist learning to produce all the sounds for the puppet without moving your lips. So there's good lip control. I have a puppet here. Let me show you what I mean by lip control for the puppet. If I ask Fuzzy Wuzzy here to count for me, this is my little friend.
Hey.
Fuzzy Wuzzy. Wait a minute.
What?
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
I know.
You're not a bear.
No, I'm a funzo.
Funzel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair either.
But I have really cool hair.
Yes, you do. But I notice you're opening your mouth.
That's it.
Now, I want you to count for me. Can you do it?
1, 2, 3.
Do you notice when he's counting, he's opening his mouth?
Of course. You can't talk with your mouth shut.
No, you can't talk with your mouth shut. But some people think that when a puppet talks, he just opens the mouth and then shuts it.
That's like biting.
It's kind of like biting your words. So if he said one like that,
1. Oh, that's not good.
no, you need to open the mouth one time for each syllable. You did that very well.
And I didn't even say a word.
Now, the puppet really does have to match syllables for it to be believable. So if you have your hand here, pretend that your thumb is the bottom jaw of your puppet. You're going to drop that jaw one time for each syllable. So when that puppet counts,
1, 2, 3,
well, let's say 11, 12, 13 more syllables.
11.
Oh, yeah.
11.
Good.
12.
Some people do it backwards.
11.
He bit the word. Not good.
Not good.
No. So notice we were practicing with that little nasal voice we tried to learn a few minutes ago. Of course, it takes practice. But let's move on now to lip control for the ventriloquist. I've got some letters over here that are all the letters that you can say without moving your lips. But of course, you have to practice. So as a ventriloquist, you're going to have a natural look to your face. Let your teeth rest on each other. Don't clench your teeth like that, because it'll muffle the sound. So we're going to say each letter, and I want you to repeat it after me, but we're going to use that little nasal voice. Try sing, sing,
Hey.
got it? Listen and repeat without moving your lips.
A, C, D, E, G, H, I, J, K, L, N, O, Q, R, S, T, U, X, Z.
Of course, you noticed that there were letters missing in our alphabet, and that's known as the hard letters down here. It's impossible to say an F, fun, without moving your lips, because normally we need our teeth and our lip, fun, to do that letter. So we're going to have to do something about that. This is called the ventriloquist tools or tricks. Let me show you first how we say an F as a ventriloquist. We want to say the word fun. That starts with an F, but instead of a F, we're going to substitute that F with a TH sound. So we're going to say fun. You got to have a lot of air behind it, because so does the F. Fun. So we're going to say fun, fun. Hey, let's get that nasal voice again and say this little sentence with me.
Hey, this is fun. Hey, this is fun.
There it is. And you've got an F without moving your lips. Let's move on to that next letter, which is somewhat like the F. It's a V. Now, with the F, we had a lot of breath. So we had to breathe. We had to have a lot of air coming over to get a really good F over that TH. That's our substitute sound. When we want to say very, we're going to hear our voice behind it. Listen, very, but that's your teeth and your lip again. We can't do that. That sound has to happen with lip stillness, lip control in the front. So instead of a V, we're not going to say very, even if you think you can do it with just a little movement, because when you get nervous, your lips will move a lot. Instead, we're going to use that TH again. So we're going to spell very as a THERY. Listen and watch, and this is how it works. The very. Put that little nasal sound in there again, and here we go.
Yeah, very good. Try it. Yeah, very good. The very good.
And you can do that when you look in the mirror and not see any lip movement at all. Now, there's one more that I'd like to try and help us learn as we just learn and play with a few of the basics. And that is the letter M. M, money, needs both lips. How are we going to do that and still have lip control? Well, we start with the letter closest to M, which is N. So suppose we said, I got a lot of money, but instead we're going to say, I got a lot of nunny. And we're just going to use an N. Try that.
I got a lot of nunny.
Well, sounds pretty good. And when you say it in a sentence, your audience might think you made a really good M. But I like to add something to it. My technique for learning to do a good M is to start with N, tongue in the front of your mouth, N. It's right at the back of your teeth. But then when you say, well, the word sing, go back and say that with me. Sing, sing. Did you notice that your throat kind of closed up when you got to the end of the word? So we're going to add that nya, that NG sound, that we felt and did when we said the word sing, but we're going to add it to the N. So we start in the front of our mouth and close off the back of our mouth to actually come up with a great M. It sounds like this. Unny, nunny. Nunny, but let's put it in that nasal again. Whenever you use a character voice, it further hides the substitute sound. So it's going to be like this.
Hey, I got a lot of money.
That's it. Now, we try to make it easy, but it isn't easy. It takes a lot of practice. Some of you want to know, well, how do I do a B and a P? And what about that W and Y? Let me give you a little hint that Y is not actually needed in words like you, yes, yellow. You can do that without moving your lips. Yes, you, yellow. You can do it. What you need is the W sound. But you know what? Because we're running out of time, I don't have any more time to hit those hard letters. But I did do it for you on a very good resource tool. Again, I have a CD and a DVD that's available through Creative Ministries Solutions. One is called Developing Ventriloquism, and the other one, the DVD, is Fun with Ventriloquism. So if you're needing and you like my style, you might want to pick up one of those resources just for you. Well, Taffy, what have you learned so far?
Oh, it's all so confusing.
Well, ventriloquism can be so much fun, but not without, well, quite a bit of work.
I know. I don't think I want to work that hard.
But you know the saying, if at first you don't succeed,
Give up.
no, try again.
Oh, I am trying. Mama Duck says I'm very trying.
Well, you do have to try over and over, and it's okay if it doesn't come right away at the beginning.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. You know, Taffy, it's really important just to play a bit like we did
We did.
And also, if you need a little bit more help,
Where can you go?
well, I'll help you out.
That's good.
But also, there are a couple of conferences next summer that are just outstanding for beginning ventriloquists, medium ventriloquists, and professional ventriloquists.
Where is it?
Well, one is in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, called Vent Haven. It's a conference and a museum.
Really?
Really. And there's all kinds of young people.
And ducks?
Well, you might meet a duck or two.
Oh, that's great.
And then also, that conference is going to be in July, the 14th through the 17th.
Really?
Really. There's competition.
Uh-oh, not for me.
Well, you don't have to compete. You can just be in the audience.
Okay.
And then there's also another conference near Chicago in Kankakee, Illinois, July 5th to the 9th, called International Festival of Creative Arts.
Wow. And do they have ventriloquism there?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I myself am going to be teaching an intensive youth track for ventriloquists.
What's that?
Well, we start at the very beginning all the way to performance that very week.
You gotta be kidding.
And, some people want to learn in their own homes and can't go to conferences. So check out the resources at Creative Ministry Solutions, because DVDs that teach you a little bit more than we've been able to do in our playtime today with ventriloquism. I've got one of those great ventriloquist DVDs.
I could learn?
I bet you could. As a matter of fact, Taffy,
What?
you're on that video.
Really? No kidding?
No kidding.
Well, I say you can learn too. And then everything will be just ducky.
As ventriloquists, bringing your character to life is very, very important. I know of no person that can teach that any better than my good personal buddy, Tom Crowl. So watch Tom's mini lecture, laugh, and learn.
Hi, and welcome to my mini lecture on bringing your character to life. Now, you may be thinking, wow, we're going to talk about characters. These are great characters, huh? No, these are great puppets, but they're just puppets. They have no character. Maybe we're going to be talking about manipulation skills. Manipulation on how to bring your puppet to life. Oh yeah, that's it. How to make it move so that it looks real. Well, that's not what we're talking about today either. Oh, probably vent skills. You got to have still lip control. Obviously, if you have still lip control, then the puppet looks more alive. So maybe that's what we're going to talk about today. Nope. Oh, are we going to talk about vocal manipulation? Maybe changing our voice so that we sound different than the puppet? Well, that's a great skill to have, but that's not what I'm talking about today either. I know. We're going to talk about the character profile. I got to know the background. I got to know the history on the puppet. Yeah, I know. I haven't created one, or I've created a very short one for my puppet. Okay, tell me about that. I'm not going to talk about that today either. Although if you want a great character profile sheet, there is one for free on the ventriloquistsociety.com website. Go download it, fill out your character profile, because that's an important part of having a character. But that's not what I'm talking about today either. So what am I talking about? A lot of people get to the convention and they can't wait for the dealer's rooms to open. They go in, they want to see the latest puppets, the latest things. And I've got to admit, I'm a sucker for a really well-made puppet too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have so many. But let's change the talent for a minute. Let's say we wanted to play guitar, and we went to a music convention and walked into a dealer's room, and we saw a craftsman who made the most amazing guitars out of exotic woods. And everything was handcrafted and meticulously placed into that wood. The soundboards, the frets, the strings are just perfect. And he can make that sound amazing. And you buy it, and you go home, and you sit here with it, and you don't play the guitar. Okay, you can strum it, but it's going to sound lousy. it's going to sound as bad as any toy guitar you would get at a major store like Walmart or Kohl's, or I don't know if Kohl's sells toy guitars, or a music store, or insert the name of any store you want here, because this is not a sponsored video. But the point is, if you don't have the skills to play that guitar, you're not going to be able to make it sound as good as it possibly could. There's going to be a long learning curve. And then once you're a proficient guitarist, the question is, are you a cover band guitarist? Are you going to just play somebody else's tunes? Are you going to play their way? Then you're just a cover band. Or are you going to create your own music? Are you going to write your own stuff? Are you going to interpret stuff your own way? Are you going to be an artist? And that's where we're going to be talking about puppets today. Creating and bringing your character to life is an art, and you have the ability, but it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some skill. It's going to take reaching into yourself and striving to be more than just a cover band doing Jeff Dunham jokes or Terry Fator songs. So how can you bring your character to life? The best way is to create a personality. So how do you go about creating a personality? Well, first, let's think back to great events in history. You know the name Edgar Bergen because of Charlie McCarthy. Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer Snerd, both very well-defined characters. They had personality. Then we go to people like Jeff Dunham, who's got Walter, Peanut, Ahmed. All three of those are beautifully defined characters that have distinct personalities, as does Bubba J. Jeff is a genius at this. Then there's Terry Fator, who's got Winston the impersonating turtle. He's got Maynard Tompkins. He's got Walter T. Airedale, and of course his neighbor Dougie. These are all great characters with personalities that are well defined. You've got Nina Conti with Monk. She's got one main character. You've got Willie Tyler, who's got Lester, who's a well-defined character. These characters have a personality. So we're going to take this beyond the character profile, and we're going to be talking about the personality today. You probably heard that to create the illusion of ventriloquism in front of an audience, you need to pretend that your puppet is real. You need to act as if it is real. You need to imagine that the puppet is real. And I think that saying is one that gives ventriloquists a bad name in a lot of cases, because people are like, oh, they think those puppets are real. We know they're not. We know they're a tool, but we have to use our imaginations. And part of that is creating a believable personality for that puppet. When you're on stage, if you're thinking about, oh, I've got to change my voice. Oh, what is the puppet going to say next? If you're thinking about your script, if you're worried about the audience, if you're thinking about what comes next, then it's very hard to have a believable character, because literally all that stuff should be practiced so much that it's second nature. You can go on autopilot to do your show. That allows you the chance to be in your show, the chance to act and react toward what the puppet is saying, what the audience is doing. That is where your focus should be. And part of that is knowing your puppet so well, and the best way to do that is to create a personality. So while the character profile sheet is very important to know your character's dislikes and likes, the personality is something a little bit different. When I think about the personalities that I create for my characters, I go back to something that Ken Groves taught me when I got started. Ken was working with one of his characters, and he said it's a conglomeration of several different people that he knew that had very distinct personalities that were very just kind of off the wall. So he pulled from their personalities and combined them to create one, and that became the personality for his character. Now, at first, he was kind of worried that maybe other people wouldn't see the humor in that. But then he realized these are personalities, and personalities draw attention. Personalities have, well, personality, and people are drawn to personalities. And that's what I did when I created my first character, Dangerous. He became a personality. I know before he even opens his mouth what he's going to say in any given situation. And that drives me back a few years ago when I was at the convention and I saw Nina Conti. and she was doing a lecture and talking about Monk. And she mentioned that Monk was her inner voice, the voice that tells her she's not good enough, the voice that's always condescending to her. And she knows exactly what Monk would do or say because his personality is that inner voice that doesn't believe in her. So when you're putting together your character profile, when you're figuring out their likes and dislikes, go further. Don't just know their history. That's important. Don't just think about how to manipulate, although that's important. Don't just think about the voice, although that's important. But think about creating a personality that is so vibrant and so realistic that it's larger than life. You will know exactly what that character is going to do. It will draw your audience to you. And as a bonus side, for everybody who goes, oh, I never know what to write about, when you're writing for a personality, it becomes so much easier. And your content will begin to flow when you start thinking in the puppet's personality. So, they're my quick tips today for bringing your character to life. Don't just look for a puppet, create a personality.
One of the highlights
I'm sorry, we had a muted mic there. I gave a whole great introduction to you and nobody heard it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me try that again. I did spend a whole time talking about Willie and we had a muted mic again. I'm very sorry. Willie, I gave a great introduction to you that only I heard, but you are a star of stage, of screen, of television. You've kind of done it all, pal. So welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Pleasure, Al.
Yeah,
Pleasure
good deal. So, Willie, we interviewed you. Oh, absolutely. So I interviewed you a couple of weeks back, and we did a really nice interview. But I want to recap a few things. First of all, Willie, what got you started in ventriloquism?
Well, I started when I was like, I think it was 10 years old, and I'd seen a gentleman by the name of Paul Winchell on TV. He had a weekly television show at that time, and it really fascinated me how he made that little character, Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith, those characters come to life. And I was reading on. And the very next day, I tried to emulate what he did. I took my sister's discarded doll, and I did a MacGyver. You know, I took a coping saw and a straight pin and a rubber band and made the mouth rocking back and forth. And then I was able to use that until I was able to get a store-bought one. That's pretty much, that was the beginning.
Well, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like a situation
fantastic. Now, let me ask you.
Wait a minute, is there a delay? It's a delay.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a delay, I think. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, it's like a situation where I would do amateur shows, go around the city of Detroit there in theaters and do amateur shows with a little character that I jerry-rigged. And I used that for a while. And then, as I said before, I went and got a store-bought Jerry Mahoney at the magic shop. Then later on, the Lesters came along. Madeline Mayer, who's Fred Mayer. I don't know if you're familiar with Fred Mayer.
Absolutely.
Madeline Mayer, his wife, they had a ventriloquist school, correspondence course. So I took the Mayer School of Ventriloquism course years ago, back in the 60s, well, 50s.
Yeah,
50s, in the 50s. And it was and it was great. And she was the one that made the Lesters up for me.
Outstanding. So you mentioned Lester, and your first Lester you mentioned was a Jerry Mahoney in our interview, but you went on to get first of all, not the Lester that we know today, but there was a Lester in between those two. So that Lester is now housed at Venthaven Museum. Is that correct?
The medium Lesters are housed at the Venthaven Museum, but the Jerry Mahoney dolls that I got, they had different names. One's JJ or whatever. But Lester only came along when Madeline Mayer made the first Lester. So there was a small Lester, medium Lester. He's in the museum there, and then the large Lester, the one that's around now, who's been on all the television shows and things like that in the past past few decades. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Lester, I know it's Saturday afternoon and he's probably off doing something, but I'm just going to ask, maybe is he hanging around today or what's the story?
He's around here someplace. Because we got a rooster that crows in the afternoon here. He's trying to find out where the rooster. Hang on. Hey Les, come over here. He's got field glasses. Hang on a second, I can get him over here.
Love that. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute, I gotta.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hold on a second. So it sounds like maybe Lester's might be nearby, and we'll get him to join us with Willie Tyler here live on our virtual ventriloquist convention. If you're just joining us, and a bunch of people have, we are live with Willie Tyler from Los Angeles, California. My name's Al Getler. I am here in northern Vermont. Lester!
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
This is Al?
It's Al. Yeah, you remember me?
Yeah, I remember you. How can I forget? You got one of those unforgettable faces.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
that means unforgettable faces.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, first of all, Lester, I like your hat.
Thank you. I do some what do you call it, little videos?
Yeah, he does a little thing called Lester Your Driver, and he's got it on backwards when he's driving the car.
Your videos are amazing, Lester. They're really amazing. I want to point something out, Lester, too, and this is incredible. If I'm not mistaken, Lester, doesn't Willie do all the technology for those videos that you do?
Oh yeah, he does. He's the director.
That's amazing.
He directs all this stuff.
So Willie, I mean, you keep right on top of everything with technology. I think you told me in our interview you shoot all of those videos with your iPhone. Is that correct?
Let's see. Yeah. It's done with the iPhone, and then you edit it. You run it through the iMovie, and you run it through to a computer to edit stuff like that. So it's easy. It's easy now, but I used to try to do recordings years ago when they had the reel-to-reel tape recorders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had to have a microphone stuck on my head, hanging down by my mouth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And had Lester here to get audio stuff, and it was like ridiculous, had a clothes hanger hooked on it and stuff. But with the with the technology nowadays, the iPhones, everything's pretty much right in there. Everything's in one place.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So Lester, let me ask you if I can go back to Lester for a second. Lester, you and Willie have been part of an awful lot over the years, but one of the things that goes back in your career is Motown. Is that right?
Yes.
Lester?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I know sometimes I got to push you a little bit, but Lester, you are one of the best singers I know out there. And I wonder if I could coax you and Willie just to give us a couple of bars of something. And then I want to talk about Motown.
Couple of bars or something. Let's see. What can I think of now? Let's see.
Don't mean to put you on the spot.
No. This is all right. Let's see. How you gonna know if the roof leaks, if it never ever rains? How you gonna know if you got some smarts if you don't use your brain? If you don't use your brain.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. That is great. So Willie, Motown was an early part of your career. Give us a little bit of a background on that and how that all played out in your career.
I was in the service. I went to service, went in the Air Force, and when I got out of the Air Force in the I guess it's early '60s, and I went back to Detroit, and I had special services. When I was in the Air Force, I had special services, so I was able to perform with Lester in the service all those years I was in there. And so when I got out,
I went back and I said, well, maybe I'll try this as a profession.
Mhm.
And I went back to Detroit. And at that particular time, Motown was just beginning, you know. So it was like a situation where I ran into some people who, some relatives of the president, Berry Gordy, and I think it was the sisters. We were at a summer resort up in Michigan there, and they and everybody went back and told them about us. So we went to a meeting one day at Motown. They had the meetings on Wednesdays. The meetings were always on Wednesdays. I went in with Lester and did about 2 minutes, and then left and went home. And then by the time I got home, I got a call saying, "Welcome to the family."
So what did that mean? Does that mean you went on tour with Motown? What exactly did that mean?
We would MC. We would MC the shows.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we would travel on the bus with all the Motown acts and the band. The band was on the bus also. So it's like a situation where when we got there, Lester and I would MC the shows, introduce the acts. And that's one of the reasons why we got into the singing thing, because when we'd introduce the acts and we'd stand in the wings while they were doing it, and we'd look in the audience and we would look at the acts, and we saw how much fun they were having. So I said, well, maybe I'll put a song in when I'm not doing a Motown review. We'll put some songs in the act. And that's when we started putting the songs in. That's when we started singing. That's when we start singing.
Now, you know, you've from there, I mean, you've done television. You were in a movie with Tom Cruise, which I said so skillfully with my mic muted, but you kind of have done it all. But
wait, Tom Cruise?
Yeah, weren't you in a movie with 4th of July? Wasn't that Tom Cruise? Who was in that movie?
No, that was oh man, why can't I think of the name? Oh man, it was just on Coming Home. Coming Home. That's right. John Voight.
I got that all messed up in my mind.
Yeah.
Hey, Willie, you know what? Who's the dummy here, right, pal? Right? You know, I mean, what can I tell you? So let me ask you a question. Going back to Motown and going back to those years, and every ventriloquist seems to have, you know, when they reach the heights that you have, some type of repeated performing opportunity. Was Motown kind of the basis of where you picked up the best techniques? The ways, like, for instance, you know, I heard Jay Johnson talk recently on a podcast about how he was at Six Flags and he performed over and over and over again. Similar situation with you with Motown?
It was that way, but I learned a lot of stuff when I was in the service, when we were doing special services. But it helped a great deal with Motown, because when we worked with Motown acts, we would work the Motown Review folks. We would work with audiences. You know, we had like younger people in the audiences, and sometimes you got a lot of hecklers, you know, so that helped a great, that polished it up for us. So that Lester got to be really sharp from coming back with some of the comments where people would shout at him from the audience. So that helped me a great deal.
So it's really the service that helped you cut your teeth. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So Lester, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of ventriloquists out there that are beginners. Okay. You are a classic part of Americana. All right. So I want you to kind of reach out there and tell these young and new ventriloquists, what's the deal? What do they need to keep in mind the most? What's the best tip you have for someone who wants to be a really good ventriloquist?
To be a really good ventriloquist, you got to keep your mouth shut. not all the way. Not all the way.
Well, you know, I think
it's almost like it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good.
That's what I mean, like keeping your mouth shut. But notice the idea: you got to really want to. You have to really want to do it. That's basically what it is. Because you know the reason I enjoyed it. I enjoy this. I'm sure when it's not really work. You know, when we perform, it's not work. It's just having fun. And a lot of entertainers are that way, and a lot of musicians are that way. And it's a situation where you do it because you enjoy it, and you feel good afterwards. It's almost like if you drank. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, is that the hard part about right now with COVID and the fact that you're not in front of an audience? How does that really affect the psyche if you're a performer such as yourself who's been at this for a long time?
No, it's psychologically, it's rough. Because it's the idea you feed off the audiences, like you know, musicians, entertainers, everybody who performs in front of an audience. You need that, and it's lacking now because you know there's no venues, so it's a situation where you kind of climb the walls kind of situation. So it's like because I've noticed when I've done shows, and they were great shows, And we done shows that are sort of mediocre. Yeah, mediocre show. But when you come off, you feel good. And you feel good even when you come off and you thought you've done a mediocre show. You still feel good because you've applied your craft.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of that, what you've been doing and other ventriloquists have been doing in these videos that have really entertained us. So I really appreciate that a great deal. So, you know, for us at the Ventriloquist Convention, kind of difficult this year. We haven't been able to get together and have the good time that we usually have. So it's great that having you here. I think it's just spectacular that you've joined us. Willie, there's something I can't let you go without talking about. There's a big project going on about you and your life. And tell us about the documentary we're going to be seeing.
Well, the documentary is like basically, you know, we were going to premiere it at the convention this year, but, you know, everything went crazy a few months ago. So everything was put on hold. But what's happening is like what people can do is like they can go to this website here and they can see a trailer, you know, a preview of the documentary. It's right on this. And on there, hey, then move that. Okay. I'll be there. I'm in it too. Yeah, a lot of celebrities are talking about particular things, but it's like a little I guess, appetizer, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that's there you go. Hold it up one more time. I'll make it nice and large there, Les. So Les, just go ahead and read that out loud for everybody. What does it say on there?
It says, "Hell." You don't read that? Let's no. You don't have to read it. Let's see. hello-dummy.com.
Yeah, that dash part is the one I make sure everybody understands.
Yeah, that's key. That's key. The dash.
Very important. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lester, I don't want to let you go without having the last word. It has been my pleasure talking with you. It's so good to have you here with us at the virtual Ventriloquist Convention. Lester, I'm giving it to you, man. How do you want to end this?
I want to say, all I got to do is say, stay safe. Stay safe.
Good advice. Good advice. Willie Tyler, you are my buddy. It is so good to have you here. We've had some fun here during COVID, talking to each other via live stream video. So we'll do it again really soon. And hello, dummy. Go ahead, put it up there one more time. I'll give you the whole screen. Hello, dummy. Oh, hello, dash dummy. You gotta have that dash. I'm sorry, Les. I'm sorry. Doing my best.
It's okay. It's all right. You're doing good.
Thank you. All right, guys. Take care. Be safe. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, fantastic. So good to have them on there. Now, I got to tell you, our next guest, I'm going to show a little video first of something she's up to get things started. And then we're going to bring on this young lady who I have to tell you, I feel like I have literally watched this young lady grow up at our convention. And it's just amazing. So I'm going to look for everybody to give me the thumbs up again. So those of you that are kind of texting me and giving me the audio upgrade and telling me that, yeah, we're good. I'm going to switch here to this video. We're going to bring it up, get a message from this young lady, and then she's going to be here live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Spin with Darci Lynne, a weekly series of adventures and music I know you're going to love. Be sure to subscribe and tune in every week. The Spin with Darci Lynne. Welcome back, guys, to Cooking with Dummies. Not for dummies, with dummies. Hands washed and ready to go. Woo! We all knew she was an odd one. What? What did you just say? It's an apron. When you got your okie dokie t-shirt. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's a skunk or something worse.
All right, let's start at verse 2.
Let's do it. Not even stirring. Oh my gosh. Booyah.
Fantastic. Let me just please do some adjustments here, bring you guys back, and we're going to introduce to you as our guest live. Darci. Hey, wait a minute. Where's Darci?
Oh, it's just me.
Hey, Gee, what is going on?
I'm just kidding. I'm right here. Hi.
You had me really frightened. I thought for a second I wasn't going to get you, and I'd have to just
had
you
you
the whole time. So
I really had you there, Al. I really
had me. You really did. Well, how's it going, June? You doing all right?
I am so good. I'm trying to get through this. I miss singing. I miss singing a lot.
Yeah, you miss being in front of the audiences, don't you?
Oh yes, I miss the shows and the fans, all of it.
We saw you last year here in Vermont, where I live, and it was a rocking, great show.
Thank you.
It really was, Darci, filled with comedy and audience participation, and of course, music. And it's just been so amazing watching you come along. So tell me, first of all, we'll start with the obvious. What are you doing during this stay-at-home COVID thing to kind of keep busy?
Well, so I have recently been trying to get my YouTube up. So the video that you just showed, that is just a sneak peek of my new series. It is called The Spin with Darci Lynne. It is a blast. We have several different segments. We have cooking with dummies. It's hilarious. It's super fun. Petunia has her own segment coming up. I don't want to spoil too much, but I've been working on that. I'm learning guitar. I've been doing some stuff with Nickelodeon. So we've been having a blast for sure. It's been really fun. It's different, but we're just making way.
So did you just say you're learning guitar?
Yeah.
So you just can't stop, can you?
No, she doesn't stop. She doesn't stop.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I was looking through some pictures. We've been posting old pictures on a couple of the Ventriloquist pages. And, it just seems just not that long ago that you were new on the scene of the convention. Boom, AGT, and boom, here you are. And now Nickelodeon. Tell me what's going on with that.
So a little while ago, I've been making appearances on the TV show All That. It's a reboot. It is a blast. I'm going to be on again. I filmed a really fun sketch with them, with the cast, and I was also the musical guest, and it's airing tonight on Nickelodeon, 9/8 Central, and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a blast. Me and Petunia were in a sketch, and we're pretty funny.
I agree.
Yeah, if you do say so yourself. So you said 9/8 Central, so 9 Eastern?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
9 Eastern, 8 Central. So
no, just kidding. It's 9 Pacific. 9 Pacific. Yeah.
9 Pacific. All right, we'll check your local listings.
Yeah, I think.
For the show. Yeah, well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And so, tell me, what have you been doing just so far as keeping the chops up, keeping the skills going, the singing? We saw some studio things on that video. Have you been cutting stuff in the studio with the band? Kind of all over the place.
So since we definitely have touring dates set up for 2021, so we've been rehearsing some new songs. So I've gotten with my band. We've just, we've all missed each other, so we tried to see each other as much as we could, with COVID and everything. But we have been to the studio, and it's a blast. We're having fun and we're passing time, but we're also getting work done while we have the time, because usually we're like on the road, go, 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 go. But we've had a break to actually think about stuff and brainstorm new things. And so, yeah.
So working on anything new? Is there anything new coming up perhaps that, you can give us any hints about?
Anything new? Yeah, okay, so there's another thing on Nickelodeon. I have been filming this new show called Unfiltered. It is a game show where it's all through Zoom. It's a really cool way they've been doing it. But it's all through Zoom, and there's 3 contestants. I'm one of them. And every episode, we get clues, and we get to ask questions, and we have to guess the mystery celebrity on the Zoom. So at the end, they're revealed, but it's super fun because they're hidden by a filter. And that is also airing tonight, the 2nd episode. So last Saturday was the premiere, and tonight is the 2nd episode. And it's going to be it's a really fun episode. I'm super excited about it. But yeah.
This is like Darci Day today, I guess. You're doing this live. You're going to be on TV twice tonight. I mean, where does it stop, right?
I know. It's just going.
So let me ask you though. I mean, I know your family, your mom, dad, your brothers. You guys are able to hang out for a little while here and have some family time. Has that been fun?
Al, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought I'd say this, but Darci's getting on my nerves. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't do it. I need to escape.
Hey, Petunia, there's a way to solve that. It's called a brown UPS box. And come see me in Vermont.
I'm coming. I'm on my way. I'm coming.
All right, I was asking Darci the question and not you. So Darci, are you having fun just kind of hanging right now and being home and enjoying yourself?
Yes, it's been really nice because, whenever we were touring, me and my parents, we would have to be on the road and I wouldn't get to see my brothers for a little bit, but I have gotten to spend quality time with my family that we haven't usually, we don't get to usually do that. And we've had lots of home cooked meals, which that's been a while because, we've just really been on the road, which I also miss the road. It's really fun. But yeah, the family time and just being at home for more than a week has been really nice.
Yeah, and really that's my next question. So, I mean, life on the road, which of course, you're off the road a little bit right now, but do you really enjoy that? Do you have a good time seeing America that way?
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's really what I love to do. I mean, it never gets old. Of course, there's times where I'm so tired. I just want to be home for a little bit. But I wouldn't trade it. It's amazing meeting my fans and just being able to see what I've done in their lives and see that I've inspired them, meeting them in meet and greets. And they bring all their puppets. And I'm like, this is so cool. And I just love to perform and sing.
Well, I did get to see you in those meet and greets, and people just are absolutely bonkers about meeting you in person. So it's really cool to see. But, we know you as the Ventriloquist Convention family when you first came on the scene, and now you've skyrocketed. But my question for you really comes down to, sorry about that. My question for you really comes down to, the ventriloquism part of things for a few minutes. Gary Owen, of course, Gary was a member of our board of advisors at Venthaven for a while.
We love Gary.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man. And you were coached by Gary on ventriloquism. And so tell us just a little bit about the ventriloquism journey. But more importantly, we have a lot of people who are watching us today who are just learning, young people, who are just learning, people who are adults. What's the best tip you can give them today?
Oh, man. I think for me, when at first I was self-taught, and of course when Gary came in, it changed the whole game. If you're just starting out and say you don't have someone to mentor you or teach you, what I really looked to were teaching myself in the mirror and also referring to other ventriloquists who've been doing it for a long time and studying them and studying how they do it and studying the little things they do, like save their mouth. Lip control, I learned so much from watching YouTube videos and DVDs and stuff like that. And the Ventriloquist Convention also changed a lot for me. I learned so much there. It was just crazy how educational it is. It's so helpful, and I wish I'd known about it, a long time ago. But definitely the mirror. The mirror's magic, knowing what you're doing, and it just really helped me out. You see what you're doing wrong, what you can fix, and what looks great and what doesn't look great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And it's interesting. One thing I know in talking about, how you developed your characters, things that you did, you like to play a lot. You like to just, figure out how the character is going to act, what the voice is going to sound like. So tell us about play for a second when it comes to being a ventriloquist.
For me, whenever I'm brainstorming new characters or brainstorming new personality traits for my already existing characters, sometimes it's so weird how it comes to me because I'll just be brushing my teeth or reading something or watching a TV show. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Sometimes it's good to just let your brain work on its own, but then it's also good to just sit down and brainstorm and just let your mind just go and make notes and practice, try different voices. Make sure try your hand out with different voices just to feel kind of things. And also, it's okay to, if you have a character, to let them develop over time. You'll come up with things along the way that you're like, oh, that just fits Petunia. Like, their characters evolve, along the way too.
I do. Petunia, have you evolved?
I think I have. I mean, I don't know what she's talking though. I'm my own person. You're crazy. You're crazy. She's crazy.
Petunia, I got to ask you as we kind of wind down, because I know you guys have to go, but what have you been doing to keep yourself busy during this COVID thing?
I'm avoiding Edna at all costs. She scares me. She's grumpy. She's just not fun to be around sometimes. Oscar and me are pals right now. Usually I wouldn't say that because he's shy and I'm outgoing. So sometimes we don't mix. But he's the only guy I can talk to. So we're just hanging out. We're chilling. I sing all throughout the house. Everyone's annoyed with me, but it's okay. I'm just getting through this, Al.
I understand, but I got to ask you a question. You're not getting along with Darci. You're not getting along with Edna. It sounds like you're not even getting along with maybe the farmer family. I mean, you're starting to really.
I'm better than them. I feel like I'm above on a pedestal. This is normal for her. We just have to let Petunia be Petunia.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm getting in the middle of something that I don't want to get in the middle of.
Also, speaking of Petunia, I also wanted to talk about some new things on my merch website. We just came out with COVID-19 masks, and they actually have. See,
look at that! It magically appeared. How did that happen?
What do you do? Oh, oh my! I can't breathe, Misty. That's my mom. But no, and then we also have an Oscar one.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
they're super fun. And they also come with ears though too. So if you want the whole shebang.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Oscar. Oh no. Oh.
So oh my goodness. You know what?
I'm cute.
There's a certain granddaughter in my life that I'm going to be getting in touch with you guys as soon as we get up here.
So you can just check out DarciLynne.com, and they have all my merch on there, and the headbands and the masks. But I wear them all around, rocking my own merch. It's pretty fun.
Rocking it. Good deal. So let me recap. We have tonight. You're appearing on 2 Nickelodeon shows.
Yes, right? 2. Yeah. Yes, 2
that
Nickelodeon
is just
shows.
Incredible. All right, you've got a series of videos coming out that I just played the preview for. Petunia is just being really difficult to get along with, but all in all,
come on, Al, come on. You know you love me.
Of course, I love you absolutely, and I can't wait to see you back on the road again. I'm so glad you have those masks out there for everybody to wear and to get us back to normal again as soon as we can. Darci Lynne Farmer, absolutely a joy to have you here today. I know you need to go, and I don't want to keep you late. So you take care of yourselves. And Petunia, please just try to relax. Even Edna, and Edna can get along with each other.
Okay? I hope so. She's so scary.
All right, Darci, talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Well, good deal, ladies and gentlemen. I stopped the video before, and I want you to know that we're going to come back and play that video at the very end of our live time together. It is a message from Venthaven Museum for everyone, so I do want you to see that, so do stick around. But now, joining us live, I am so thrilled to have him here. He is a longtime convention attendee. He'll tell us just how long that's been. A guy who is an international star, who I could not be more proud of to know and to watch as time has gone on. So, ladies and gentlemen, live with us now, Mr. Jeff Dunham.
Hey,
Jeff. Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good.
It was a charming interview. You did a fine job. Darci Lynne did a great job. That was great.
Well, thank you. Darci Lynne is great. Petunia has a bit of an attitude, but what can I tell you? Yeah. Well, you're stuck in the garage again, man.
I'm stuck in the garage. I'm trying to straighten the camera up here, so hold on a second.
That's okay.
So good. I'm my own crew too. Yeah, stuck in the garage. The boys are in the house. I have 4.5-year-old twin boys. They're in the house with Audrey, my wife, and I'm out in the shop. Yeah.
Well, good. And I got to tell you, you have been doing a lot out there in the shop, haven't you?
Yeah, this has been an interesting time. I'm completely out of, like a lot of us, out of work, unemployed, and but you know what's weird, Al, is I know people say this, but every day since sometime in the 4th grade, I have thought about this art form and how to improve my act and make it better. Every day I've thought about it and have made strides to try and do that. How can I make it funnier? What can I do differently? What other jokes? What other routines? And there has not been a time of more than the only time in the last 30 years that I've taken off a month was when Audrey and I got married. So I've never taken that much time off. So this is crazy to go 4.5 months without a show. The last time I was on stage was in March. It's just like, I don't know. It's like some kind of drug. It's like it's all gone, and I can't wean myself off. And it's like I've been going nuts, but been going nuts in a good way, just trying to find stuff to do here in the shop. And you're right, I've been doing a lot.
Well, but you said something to me at the very beginning. Would you mind repeating it, or would you want me to repeat it? Just about,
Yeah, I said it was probably about a month into it.
Yeah.
I said I had so many friends who were like, I'm so bored, I have nothing to do. I'm like, are you kidding me? How many things have you tried to get done in the last few years that you always say, I never have enough time. I'm always too busy. I can't get it done. Well, guess what? Now you have the time. So get it done, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yet I've been watching the statistics, and Netflix viewing is gone from 3 hours a day to 7 hours a day, and streaming of everything, of cable television, all the stream. I mean, just that's how people are spending their time, watching more television.
Right. Now that is what I find sad, because our television viewing honestly has not gone up one bit.
Yeah.
We're on the same routine. We have our boys who are the same routine, and their television watching has gone up a little bit. We don't like to use the TV and cable and all that as babysitters, but I think when you and I were younger, we used to listen to record albums over and over and over and over and over again, right? The same ones. Yeah. So now
one was right there somewhere. Yeah.
Right. So now we have a handful of videos that the boys will watch over and over and over again. But we do everything we can to get them out in the backyard, and we play, and we can't go many places. We're kind of stuck. So I know you asked me if my buddy Matt was going to be here helping me today with this, do the camera work. And like, nope, Matt hadn't been over here in months.
Oh, man. Yeah. I know he's been on.
Let's talk about ventriloquism. Let's
let's do that. So what's on the bench? Let's start with that.
Start with what's on the bench. Well, I came out with Little Jeff, the ventriloquist dummy, a few years ago, and he was hugely successful. He has been, he's great. But I let him get sold out on purpose. So he's gone. You can't get him anymore. There are a few sites that still have them overly priced. It's ridiculous. If you want to buy things of my merchandise, please stick with my place. And by the way, can I put that commercial in? There's so much fake merchandise out there for me. If it's not from my website or my official Amazon store, it's fake. And it's usually, I'm not going to say this. Yeah, I'll say it. It's usually poor quality. Yeah. And these masks, all these things that people are doing, there's an ongoing lawsuit, and it's ugly. It's unbelievable to me how many people will just, steal. So, but besides all that, years ago, I came out with Little Jeff, and I let him run out on purpose because I'm coming out with Little Jeff 2. I'm resculpting him to make him a little more cherub and a little cuter, as it were. But that's not the big project I've had going on. The big project I've had going on is a peanut ventriloquist dummy. And I'm really excited about this because I don't know. I love this guy. People love this little guy. And I think this is going to be really fun for folks.
Yeah. Do you remember sitting around the kitchen table eating fudge ripple ice cream, talking about the perfect little ventriloquist dummy? I mean, probably not, but it's got to be, 25 years ago.
Right.
And just talked about, wouldn't it be great if you could buy one with, and that Little Jeff was that dummy. So you've gone ahead and done something new?
Yeah, I mean, that's not what I'm going to show you today because all he is in clay right now, but I'm resculpting the face, and he will probably not be out by Christmas. Okay. But it'll be close after that. So yeah, I'm just making him a little more cherub, and it's just going to be version 2. That's all. So Little Jeff version 2. He'll still have the moving eyes and the moving mouth. Yeah. And I think it'll be fun.
But that's the part that was great. You did the first one that way with moving eyes and moving mouth. That was just the best part about it.
And a hollow body. Because I remember as a kid when I had my Mortimer Snurd, I used to, I would try and find, there's got to be a hole in his back here somewhere. I'm just not finding it. String in the back of the neck. Obviously, this is all wrong. There's got to be a hole.
Well, then eventually the thing got loose too, so the head did that a lot.
Yeah. But I remember taking the jacket off and pulling up his shirt and going, "Where is the hole?" But, but let me tell you about Peanut. Peanut is our #1 selling of all the merchandise pieces that we have. He's the #1 selling character. Ahmed is second. And so of all T-shirts, bobbleheads, animatronic talking dolls, Peanut always outsells everything. So the main girl that works in my warehouse, in charge of the warehouse, she says, we get calls all the time. When is Jeff going to come out with the ventriloquist dummy of Peanut? So I thought, what the heck? Now, Peanut is the Muppet type character like this. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to come up with a ventriloquist dummy of that? Well, I've come up with something that I'm quite proud of, and this is going to be a hard head, solid head ventriloquist dummy with a stick. And the process, though, that I've gone through to do this is kind of unusual. We had these hand puppets that we sold for a while, these finger puppets, right. And the Peanut finger puppet, and stick your finger up the neck like this and do this, and great. So I thought that was kind of cool, kind of fun, and I didn't want to resculpt the entire head, so I just took one of these and I scanned the head, and then I cut out the mouth and I put it on a stick. So there's the little tiny.
Get back to the big shot there. Wow.
Yeah, the little tiny little Jeff. Little Peanut ventriloquist dummy from that finger puppet. So I made it work, right? And the finger puppet obviously is just a molded head with no movement. Yeah. So I thought that was good. And so then what I did was I scanned this head and I scanned all the parts separately, and including the jaw, and then printed him and put him together. And then I hated it. I absolutely hated it, because if you look at this, let's do a forced perspective here. So that's about how big Peanut would be next to me. Right. But if you look at him, he just doesn't look right. Why? He's got a neck of a linebacker. Yeah. and the original Peanut has a neck about the size of my wrist.
Yeah.
It's tiny. The hand barely fits up in there. So I hated this guy. I didn't like the face. He didn't really look like Peanut. He wasn't, in little, he's okay. But when you make this really big, it's not cute. It's not cute at all. No. So that has no character. It's all kind of flat.
So I'm going to ask you too, is this a project you've been doing while you've been home this whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that doesn't look right. So I started over and I completely resculpted the head. I started from scratch and resculpted a brand new Peanut that's a much more cartoony, almost caricature of Peanut. So I did that, and what do I show you first? Okay, so I did that full size. So this is the full size head. So here he is off the, how do we get that to, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So this is straight out of the printer, just like this, with the jaw in it, but the head is hollow. So there he is out of my 3D printer, and right. Let's see if I can get him closer. The light's so bright in here. It's not, though. It's just the white. So anyway, that to me is a much cuter version of Peanut, much more fun, much more character. So there he is, straight out of the printer, out of the 3D printer, like that, right? So then it's like, okay, this works, but now I need a body. And I got lazy. I didn't want to make this big thing. I thought, I got to do this. So what I did was I scanned this full-size head again. And I didn't scan, I'm sorry. I just printed that original size one down 50%, right? And so I came up with this head, this teeny tiny little Peanut head. There he is. A little, come on, light.
Yeah, cover it up again. There you go. Yep, that's good.
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny little version of him, right? Now the size back to the finger puppet, right? Mm-hmm. But then I made a stick, and there he is with a ball and socket, right?
Yep.
And so it all worked. And then I had to make a body and make the body work. So then I made the body. And so now here is the potentially new Peanut ventriloquist dummy.
Right.
And then, of course, I had to make it full size. So then I printed the head stick, the full size.
Okay.
There's the head stick, right?
Yep.
Then I had to print the jaw, the full size. There's the full size jaw, all separate.
Then I like how you're building this up, Jeff. I like how you're building this.
Then I had to print the body. This is now, by the way, the body, the prototype has just gone to the manufacturer, and the body is actually going to be a softer, it's going to be like a cardboard, what do they call it? PLA material.
Right.
But the chest piece will be solid, and it'll be purple.
Yeah.
And so, again, hollow body. And then Here's the head, and this is the full-size Peanut ventriloquist dummy.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. And,
yeah, it really is. I mean,
thanks. I love this, and the fact that this used to be a Muppet type character,
yes,
a hand puppet, and now he's a full-on ventriloquist dummy. And I was talking to our buddy Tom Lanshaw, and it's like, wow, what if I did this really in my act? And I'm not sure, but as a toy, he's going to be absolutely great. Do that close up again.
Yeah, here we go. Ready?
Let me see a single shot. Single shot. Yeah, there you go. I just think this is great. There's so much personality.
You know, and I'm very sensitive about how Peanut looks because he is by far and away has always been my favorite, and I think, you know, I just love the character. And if you did something that I didn't like, I'd tell you I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and the purple. That what the amazing part of people know anything about paint. That's acrylic, and for it to have zero sheen, it's matte, is great. So I'm hoping the factory can match this. I don't know if they're gonna mold it in this color or paint it or whatever. But and he's only gonna have the moving mouth, just like the real Peanut. The hair is not going to be ostrich feathers. It'll be something else that'll last a lot longer. Mm-hmm. But that's the guy. And we're hoping our goal is to have this out by Black Friday. So
that's amazing. Yeah. But, you know, Jeff, I think the thing is that's important for everybody to realize is that all of us from a certain age started with these little toy dummies. And that's how we really got going. And you're bringing that whole new age of these quote unquote toys, but they're as professional as can be. And as you said, we started off with the stuffed dummies, and the Danny 400 came out. If you remember that was a big deal. So
the Danny 400.
The Danny 400, I have one on the shelf. I can't get up here and do that. But the Danny 400 is the Danny O'Day and the head stick. And those are the ones that Clinton Detweiler took and you know, restructured and made them available for people with moving eyes and all that. That's the Danny 400 in the Juro catalog. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So you're bringing a whole new age to this, and it's fantastic. Really good stuff.
And by the way, the foot and the shoe and the hand, I scanned the original Peanut, and I'm taking the digital files and turning them to usable files that the factory can then use. And then that's what's amazing. I didn't have to send the prototype to them. Yeah. All I did was send the digital files, and they can build it. They can build their own plastic one, and then go from there and make the vinyl. So you want to talk about
I mean, that's got to be, you know, that's it. So you obviously that's like, whew, sending that in the mail, you know.
Yeah. So do you want to see a dummy or two?
Absolutely, I do. Okay. You know, we all do.
So let's go from the old, the brand new stuff. And by the way, this is also how I build the real ones, the big ones. If anybody followed my creation of Earl, the internet guy, this is how I did it. I sculpt them out of clay. I scan them with the 3D scanner. I print the shell of the head on the 3D printer. I then put all the movements in, all the mechanics, then paint them, and there you go. The only thing I'm doing with modern technology is the shell of the head. Yeah. It's gone from wood or paper mache is what they were in the old days, paper mache, and then wood, whatever, whoever did what. And then fiberglass. Then there were whatever other things. And then from fiberglass, I went on to the 3D printing, which is, to me, just a fun way of doing it. So it's just different technology to get to the shell. They all have to have mechanics. That's old school stuff. And they all have to have paint. Anyway, so what I'd like to do is to show everybody a couple of McElroy dummies. And if folks don't know, George and Glenn McElroy were figure builders back when they were barely out of high school. And this was right before World War II. And they had no professional formal training. And I'd like to show the very first and the very last McElroy. And this one I'm going to show you is one of the first three. It was in one of their publicity photos when they first started making them. And he's troll-like and he's ugly. But this was just the very beginning of George and Glenn doing their work. And if anybody's been to Van Haven, you know anything about ventriloquist dummies, you've seen this type of dummy before. I've heard there's molds of this guy going around. Have you heard that, Al?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. But anyway, so this guy only had three moving parts. He has the jaw, the lower jaw, the upper lip, and then the eyebrows, which are the automatic eyebrows. Right. Just by leaning the head forward, leaning it back. And that's all he did. And but he has character out the wazoo. They didn't try and make anything cute.
No,
cute was never in George and Glenn's vocabulary ever.
No, it was not.
Right. And I do not know. I think it is, but I don't know, and nobody can prove it either way. Now Glenn did all the mechanics, and George was the artist. He sculpted the heads and then he painted them after Glenn put on all the mechanics. And I don't know if this is original paint, if he didn't use oil in the beginning, and then in the very first ones like this, I don't know if anybody's repainted this or not, but did he start like this? I don't know, but this paint is obviously shiny and rubbed off, and it looks like something he would have maybe done, because I can't find any evidence that this has been repainted. But also you look at the hands, they're the same way, and the shading is very George-like. But so there you go.
Do we know this guy's journey? I mean, where did he go from them to somebody else? What's the?
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay.
I bought him from Dennis Alwood, so
okay.
And if there is a story, I've forgotten it.
Yeah.
Look at those ears! Holy moly!
Oh, yeah, right.
Definition of not cute.
Okay, now I'm gonna have the dummy tell you a bedtime story and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Let me put them on the floor here, make sure it doesn't fall over. Oh, and by the way, that's the other material I left out. Is these guys made them out of plastic wood dough, and that's of course that's how I used to make them as well.
Yeah.
You make the mold, plaster of Paris mold, 2 or 3 piece mold, make the shell out of the plastic wood dough, and they changed the formula back in the 80s. And so this stuff is not the same stuff that it used to be.
Yeah.
It's still great. I use it all the time, but to form a full head out of it, I haven't attempted that. I think it's a little more brittle than it used to be, because they had to take all the good chemicals out of it.
No, I remember everybody bemoaning it and going out and buying, as much as they could before it ended. Yeah.
Yeah. CMOC used to warn me about how bad this stuff in it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we go, the McElroys, there's always been a debate as to how many dummies they made. I've heard anywhere from 30 to 100, and I think it was somewhere in the middle, but way down towards more of the 30. And so then Dennis Alwood brought them out of retirement and talked them into making Dudley. And Dudley is the very last dummy that they made, and it was in the 60s. And not long after that, a couple decades later, 15 years later, Dennis was the consultant on the ventriloquist consultant on the movie Magic. I think he did a little bit of voice work on it. I'm not sure what's what. And I think Fats was very much modeled after Dudley. And Dudley is the biggest McElroy dummy ever made. His head is even bigger than the umpires.
Wow, really?
And the umpire's huge, yeah. But
I have to show you a funny comment though, Jeff, while you're getting him.
Okay.
Oh my God, a McElroy on the floor.
It's better than being on the shelf and falling over in California. Yeah. All right, so this is Dudley, and there's some really unique things about Dudley. First of all, I guess Dennis is left-handed. I've forgotten what he said, or if he just wanted to use the index finger, because everything on Dudley is backwards from any McElroy I've ever laid hands on. It's finger for the mouth and thumb for the upper lip.
Oh,
the
wow.
other thing that's unique about him is that he does not have all the movements that most of the later McElroys did. He doesn't have the wiggling nose. He doesn't have the hair fright wig. He doesn't smoke, and he doesn't spit. But otherwise, he does everything else. So like this, and then we got the stick out the tongue. Again, this is all backwards. The eyebrows don't work quite as much as the other guys did. Same thing with the eyes, automatic eyes, looking left and right and up and down. And also, you'll hardly ever find a ventriloquist dummy that looks up and down. Earl, I was very proud of, because I actually put a control in it where he would actually look up and down. You can look with the control and you don't have to tilt the head. Ears work. And let's see, and that, and then we have the where'd the eyes go? There we go. And that's a leather eyelid. Yep. And then you've got, of course, when he's the sleepy looking like this. So, and this guy's, he can be cute, but he's borderline creepy because he's so big. He scares the hell out of little kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure, the boys probably look at that one and maybe go in the other direction.
There's so much stuff around my office. My buddy Matt is a big monster guy.
Yeah.
And he taught me a long time with my girls. I didn't try and teach them to not be afraid, but with my boys, they aren't afraid of anything now. Yeah. You know, Al, that I have a life-size Frankenstein, Boris Karloff version of Frankenstein sitting in our family room.
Right.
And they don't care. And there's also the bride. The bride is sitting right there. And it looks horrifying. And they don't.
Doesn't everybody? I mean, come on.
What?
Doesn't everybody? I mean, come
Who
on.
doesn't? Yeah.
So Jeff,
anyway,
give us the span of years between the first one you showed and Dudley.
I should have thought of that before. Early, see, this guy, the troll down there was middle 30s, I think.
Okay.
Is that about right? 35, 36?
No, my phone will go off and Tom will text me in a minute and correct us both. So
All right. And then this guy was middle 60s, if I recall. I don't remember the article. I think it's like 65, 66. I think it's something like that.
And so do we think Dennis custom ordered that one? Is that what we think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
So it was the very last McElroy.
Yeah. Let's get one more.
The other thing is
one more
unusual.
shot.
Acrylic paint was a brand new, great, fantastic thing in the 60s. And so this is acrylic paint, and I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just, to me, acrylic just doesn't have the depth. It doesn't have the warmth. The one big exception, I'm telling you, I don't know, this acrylic paint that I mixed up, it's amazing. But again, it's purple. So I love oil paints, and that's what I use on all my figures. But, this guy looks pretty good, but I think he would look better in oils. And I don't know what it is. There's just a life to oils that this doesn't have. So
I think it's safe to say what's incredible about you and your knowledge and your talents and your skills, which go beyond stage, 100%. I've always said that if you didn't grab on to what you do for a living, you'd probably do something else for a living and be extremely successful because you just have a mind that gets the stuff done. So when it comes to creation, I mean, you've got these fabulous figures that I know you have studied very, very closely, over the years. You understand the mechanics, you understand what makes a character great, and you just created a brand new character, which I'm sure is not on the bench right now, but you did that in front of your fans. You made it happen. So
yeah, if you want me to go get him, I can go get him.
It's up to I mean, if you want to, that's up to you. I can
sure,
I can
go
keep
with
us
me.
busy for a minute, or you want to take us with you?
You can go with me. I do this for a living. I have magnets.
I know you do.
I rigged up my own little thing there. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, no, I know. But it's incredible to me that in 28 years, Tom says it's a 28-year span between the first one and the last one. Yeah,
but they weren't. But they only did it for a few years. Oh, this is in my office, so the boys are not scared of anything. That's in my office right there, right?
So there's nothing you can do to get a scary-looking babysitter because nothing's going to do any of that. Yeah,
delivery people come to the house and they're like, "What the hell?" All right, hold on. So I have Earl in my hand. I'm taking it back out to the workbench. I can't do it. Elbow on the doorknob. I opened a door with my elbow. How did that happen?
Listen, the talent just does not stop.
I know. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, let me put you back on the magnet.
Okay. And let's throw that on the floor when we're done with it later, okay? Because that will make that person really happy.
Okay. There we go.
Terry Ellison. Ellison, that's who said that. Yeah. Okay. Wow, here he is. Look at that.
Okay, so this is Earl, and I created him online in front of fans and just had a lot of fun with him. And and this guy, it's a really unusual character compared to anything that I've made.
I love that mouth. Love it.
And the eyebrows. Audrey's like, "Why'd you paint the eyebrows like that?" And I said, "I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool."
Yeah.
And and then the eyes are what I'm most proud of, and that's like he can just
Oh, that's awesome.
And then he looks down at his phone, and that's the magic of this guy.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
Right.
That's just awesome. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so there you go. So
control-wise, so we have the finger movement is where? Is it on the head stick, below the head stick? Where is the finger movement?
Oh, it's just in the body. I put it so my hands are spread out and I can work everything at the same time. But
incredible.
Yeah, it's and I was proud of this because it was those are sculpted hands that I then cut the thumbs out of, and it's.
I remember that episode. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. So now
I get to go on the floor now. You want to go on the floor? Yeah, for sure. Al, it's nice talking to you, Al.
Yeah, good talking to you, buddy. In fact, I noticed you're on my Facebook page, and I don't appreciate what you said.
All right, here we go. All right, so that's Earl, and Earl is spelled U-R-L, of course.
Let's talk about URL, right? So let's talk about that for a second, because Jeff, the thing you've done is, when you have a special coming up, I know how hard you work when you're on the road. You're constantly trying out new material. You are. How many jokes a day do you think you try out when you're in front of a live audience?
Oh, I don't know. You know, Darci Lynne said something I thought was, of course, the way it works, and that is that the characters develop over time, and the more you use them, I'll expand on that a little bit. The more you use them, the better you get to know them, and the better they get to know you, and so that relationship actually turns into. It can go from fake acting to you really get good at the acting, and it becomes very natural and second nature to react, to act and react with that character. So jokes are one thing, and that's what I work on a lot. But more than anything else, not more than anything else, but equally as important is that relationship and that believability. Because if you believe that this is a real conversation, the audience is going to believe it too. So I do come up with as much material as I possible. I try and do a handful of brand new jokes every single show.
Right.
And if it works, great. I'll keep it. If it doesn't work, I'll try it 2, maybe 3 more times just to make sure that it didn't work. Because also it's just, and also for some reason, and most comics will tell you this, you try out a new joke and the first time you try it, it kills. You're like, I got it. You go out there the next night and it's like, it's not as good. It's like, what did I do different? And there's something about the spontaneity of doing it the first time that you get it right. Now, if that happens, I will stick with that joke because I know I got it right the first time. And it's doing that same material over and over and over and over again. And just as the relationship and the character develops, those jokes then turn into what used to not be very good to something that's very, very funny. Because if I have a brand new bit or brand new character and you come see it one night and it's not very good and it was brand new, just wait a few months. If I believe in it, that character will develop and become really great. Bubba J used to be nothing, and he was not funny, and I stuck with him and stuck with him and stuck with him, and now he's one of my favorite parts of the show and audiences as well. Oh, I lost you. I have lost you, Al. I don't hear you.
There we go. I think this was yours. This was a dot matrix printer. Is this your character questionnaire? Is that yours?
You know what that was? That was a where did I get that? I got that from somebody else, and then I just adjusted it.
Yeah.
I adjusted it to make it work for us. No, I can't claim that. That was somebody else's. It was for acting, an acting class, and I didn't take the acting class. Somebody else did and gave that to me, and I'm like, whoa, this is perfect for developing a character. So read some of the questions.
Well, but please tell me though, it was your dot matrix printer.
Oh,
right?
Of course it was.
And you gave that to me probably
in
1905, whatever year it was. Yeah, some of the questions.
Let me tell you something here. So before laptops, there were personal computers.
Yeah.
And the laptops were only a dream. And Tandy came out with the Model 100 laptop. It was like it was powered by 4 AA batteries, and all it was basically a word processor that used BASIC.
Yeah.
And I taught myself BASIC. I was a big Apple Macintosh guy, but I taught myself BASIC. This had to have been in like 85. Yeah, it was 84, 85. The screen was this big. The thing was the size of a laptop. I would be sitting on airplanes, and guys in first class would come back and go, "What is that? How are you working on the plane? It's amazing." And I don't think I could have graduated from college had it not been for that little laptop word processor basic computer, because I did everything on that thing while I was on the road and going to college at the same time. I'd do my 5 days at school, then take off for the weekend and fly to all corners of the U.S. And that you have right there came from my little dot matrix printer.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, I don't know where the original. I do have the original one, by the way. It's somewhere. But this has been scanned and photocopied, and the original is probably in a box across the street in the storage. But
I'd love to get a scan of that. I'd love to see it again.
Oh, I'll send it to you. Yeah, absolutely. So you wanted me to read some questions.
Sure.
How do you say hello and goodbye? Favorite expression? What is funny? Makes them cry, angry, or jealous? Most exciting thing that ever happened? Convictions and apathies. Kind of clothes and how influenced to wear them, which I just noticed on Earl. I mean, that's a unique outfit you have on that dude.
Oh, believe me, I went round and round. What in the heck, because I had to talk to, Matt's kids are teenagers, and it's like, what am I going to wear? What is he going to wear? And so yeah, folks who didn't catch it. It's basically shorts and a shirt, yeah, with the hat.
The character comes right out.
And
Will cap.
Hang on 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm holding. We're holding.
This is another thing that I'm proud of with Earl, and it's the same legs that I used on the baby, the Irish baby Seamus.
Oh yeah.
But all I did was Marianne Taylor made me the first version of the baby. I then turned him into a hard figure, but she built me a soft baby, and I took the legs of that baby, scanned them, and then printed them on the printer into hard legs. So these are you can tell these are Marianne Taylor legs. Scanned and turned into plastic.
Let me ask you a question. What runs more in your house, the dishwasher or the scanner? Because
I'm friends with Leno, and this is all Leno's fault, I swear.
Well, I remember the day you came with remember the sprockety thing you brought to someplace?
The sprockety thing. Hold on.
Yeah, you brought this thing with you, and you're like, look at this, and I'm turning the gears, and it's all interlocked, and
yeah.
Where do you think that came from? And I'm like, I don't know where. A scanner. What are you talking about? A scanner?
No, it didn't come from a scanner. This was built. This just shows what a 3D printer can do. It's the brain gear.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. The printer. Yeah, it was scanned and printed.
No, it wasn't scanned. You can't scan this. There's nothing to scan. There's no way to scan all of this. You can't get to all of this.
So tell me, maybe my memory's failing me.
Yeah, a scanner is not an X-ray.
My hair is not as dark as it used to be. So
a scanner is not an X-ray. A scanner can only scan the surface, the outside surface.
Right.
So what this is, it's a brain gear that somebody just built on the computer in CAD. But what's amazing is when it came out of the printer, it did this.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm not wrong. Okay.
I said printer, not scanner.
A printer. I know. I said printer instead of scanner. I know.
No, you said
scanner instead of printer.
Of printer. So anyway, that was the first thing. And this was like 10 years ago. I was at Leno's place, and he showed me the 3D printer because he showed me that, and he said it came out of the printer like that. I go, no, it didn't. He goes, yeah, it did. I'm like,
I remember that. You also had a crescent wrench too, or something like that day.
The crescent wrench, and hold on, right here. Hang on.
And you still have it. It's like a freaking museum, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
Wait for it. And the other thing was this, and this blew my mind. It's a bicycle. Wow. It's a bicycle chain.
So you held back on that. You didn't show me that.
Yeah, and it's like,
incredible.
Yeah, it came out of the printer like that. So That's knew amazing. With that, I'm like, man, I can build anything.
Yeah.
And then the scanner was another whole deal because what they would do, what Jay would do, they had an old car. They had the left what's it, and they didn't have the right what's it.
Right.
And so they'd scan the left what's it, reverse it in the computer, then print it out, print the right one out, and take it to the guys who did build it in metal, make a mold and build it in metal.
Well, obstetricians are doing that now, right? Since that time. I mean, they replace a bone with it. Yeah, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, and you do amazing things with it. So yeah.
You know what's funny is there's a whole generation of kids right now watching this who are going, yeah, and
yeah. I know.
This is amazing. You know what this is? This is 30 years ago. This is like I don't know how many years ago. A guy going, you can turn a knob and a picture comes on the screen.
I know.
It's this big, but you can watch a film.
We started talking about dot matrix. Okay, I want to talk about right. And here's the thing I'm proud of though. Earl has these in his ears most of the time, and so do I. So that's the cool thing.
Nice. Nice.
So what else is on the bench? Anything?
No, I'm just looking forward to getting back on the road, like Darci said. But I have no idea when this is going to be, and it's it seems all happy around here, but it's tough. It's again, I don't know. I've talked to voice people because I've never gone this long without doing a show, and I think the voice is not I've always said it's like a muscle that if it gets stressed, that you have to rest it just like a muscle. But I've talked to some other voice people here lately, and there may be a little argument with that it won't atrophy. Like if you stop working out, you'll start looking like a weakling. But it seems like the voice can stay strong, and my vocal cords have been developed, as most of us who use our voice for a living have been developed over years. So I'm hoping that when I come back, there won't be much of a ramp up to being able to do another 2.5 hour show 5 nights in a row. And that's what it was for years.
Well, and it goes back to the albums you talked about that we listened to over and over again. Are you practicing? Right. People think a guy at your level, do you practice every day? Do you do the voices? Do you keep it in shape that way?
Me?
Yes.
No. Of course not. Why? No.
All right, change the subject.
Honestly, I just forget it. No, we talked about before. What I worry about, number one, actually, is the comedy and keeping it funny. Number two is and again, to sell the audience on the fact that this is real, is to keep that relationship real, and that's where, to me, the practice comes in, is knowing how to act and react and the acting and over and over and over again. But the comedy is, it's tough to write right now, because what in the world are you going to write about?
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting when, it's not going to be like, click, get on stage. It's going to be like, okay, you're going to be on stage in 4 months. That's when I'm going to start paying attention again to, okay, what is it at this time and place? And in 3 or 4 months, what is it that we're going to be able to joke about and want to joke about? How far will this have gone? Is it going to be another 3 months, or is it going to be another year and a half?
Right.
So, it's tough. And
yeah,
we try and keep it light here online and have fun in the workshop, and we do funny videos now and then. And like you said, online, that's what people are craving right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I have such a devoted, loyal fan base, that when we put out a new video, even if it's a compilation video, the numbers go through the roof.
Oh, I mean, your Peanut compilation video the other day, I was watching that, and it was just like bringing me back to so many great moments. And you could probably do 20 of those just with Peanut,
You think so these are, when I do a special, I will keep a little bit of the material, the very best prime stuff, in the show for a few months after that. And then it eventually all goes away, and I don't do any of that material anymore. So when Matt was going through these specials, we called it some of the best of Peanut and some of the best of Walter, because it's all in taste. I didn't want to say this is the very best, because people are going, oh, what about the other bit?
Yeah.
So he was showing me bits, and I haven't watched those specials in years. And some of it was, I just completely forgotten. Some of it was making me laugh out loud. It was like, what happened to all this stuff? And we've come out, we just finished editing the Ahmed one. And man, oh man, has the world changed since I first came out with Ahmed.
Yeah. Oh, the evolution of Ahmed's awesome, though, when you look at it. It really is.
Yeah, but what I was able to joke about then and have fun with, it's like,
yeah. But to me, the best part about the evolution of Ahmed is when all of a sudden that you brought out that tender side, that insecurity.
Right.
That's the stuff. I mean, that's when the whole thing kind of, like, the chutes opened up and the material just.
But then amazing. I remember after that was the Christmas special when he really got touchy-feely, and it was kind of sweet. But then I wanted to go back to him being just angry and mean, and I did. I brought that back into the live show, and people loved it.
So let's talk about character development one more time for Earl. So when you go with him and you're in front of audiences, and you develop him, how long do you think it takes for a character like that to really develop? I mean, how many appearances? What's the mile marker on that?
Well, somebody like him, the jury's still out. I mean, I created on camera. It was a great little fun thing, and sure, we'll be doing some more videos online with him without audiences. But I don't know if he's going to go over in front of a crowd or not.
Okay, so then it's trial and error at that point.
And I think that for every character I've had that succeeded, there's a handful, 2 or 3 that were miserable failures, and that's okay. So for him, do I think he has a great shot? It's all in the material. But it's also if I can create a relationship with him and I understand him. The 2 characters that never worked for me that I really tried to go far with was Diane, my female character, and the one I didn't go far with was Tony the Talking Meatball, the Italian meatball, because the Jose Jalapeno on a stick worked. I thought, well, the talking food.
Yeah, why not? I had that. Yeah.
And, So
one character that you thought you gave up on, I remember, was Superhero Guy. And then you went to Europe and you found out he had a huge following over there. Am I right about that?
No, that was Bubba J.
Oh, I thought it was Superhero Guy.
No, it was Bubba J that I thought that nobody in Europe is going to know who Bubba J is. They're not going to care. They don't get the white guy that's, the white trash trailer park, redneck. They're not going to understand that. Oh, was I wrong? Because it was the opening night, with the first night of one of my first world tours, and we were in London, first night, and my tour video, I forgot, had clips. The opening video had clips of Bubba J. And he came up on the screen and started telling jokes, and the audience went nuts. And I went, what? And so we had the security guard run back to my hotel and get Bubba J and bring him back.
Oh my gosh, that's
So I
incredible.
used him in the show. Yeah,
That's classic. That's absolutely classic. So Jeff, this is the virtual convention, and let's just kind of go back to your history with the convention. You've been coming since you were how old?
1975, so 13.
Yeah, your parents were nice. My parents never got me to the convention. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you had other brothers, and you guys had better hobbies. You'd go to bars and have fights.
I think Tom is watching right now, so that's good. He's gonna be thrilled you mentioned that. Yeah, we did. We had 6 kids, and it just wasn't part of that. But I think the sweet thing is, Mom and Dad did send me to the convention for the first time when I was an adult, so that's pretty cool. But
when you were an adult,
yeah, I didn't
wait. Your parents sent you to the convention when you were an adult?
I had MK and Samantha before I came to the convention for the first time.
I'm very confused. You said your parents sent you there.
They did. Yep. My dad called me up one day and said, we never sent you when you were a kid. We want to pay for you to go to the convention. And
wow, that's really great. And
isn't that cool?
A dad with 2 daughters, and wow, okay.
Yeah. I just couldn't afford it.
I thought you meant you were like living in their basement and they're like, get out.
No, that was my other brother.
Great.
You didn't meet him. But yeah, so you started going in 1975, which was the
first
convention. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And since that time, you've made all of them either virtually but you've made a difference at every single convention since that.
Thanks.
time.
I've been to every single one except in 1977, and then last year we did a thing much like this.
Yeah.
But I thought it was actually cooler than me standing there jabbering on stage because people got to see stuff around my house.
It was actually great. It was a great interview. Yeah.
So the point is, for a successful convention, keep Jeff Dunham away. Just show his crap.
Yeah, Mark Wade's writing that down right now, so that's good. Yeah. So the convention, just a minute, just what the convention's meant to you all these years.
You know what? It is amazing to go back to that same place. It was at the same hotel for a long time, the Drawbridge, and now it's at the Holiday Inn, right? Yeah. It is amazing to go back to that same event and see some of the same people. Of course, many of them have passed away since. But the camaraderie was the thing growing up as a working performer. It was when I first went in 1975. I'd never seen another ventriloquist live except for Jay Johnson. Saw him in a show in a place called Charlie's Place in Fort Worth, Texas, or near Fort Worth, I don't remember. And he was the only other ventriloquist live I'd ever seen. And then I go to this convention and hear all these people doing the same thing that I did, and it was great. I made a bunch of friends, and I don't remember when you and I became friends, but what year was that?
What year was what? You
and I became friends.
When you and I became friends, let's see, it had to have been the Verna thing, so that's going to be 1986, 87.
Wow. Yeah.
Before that, we talk on the phone all the time.
Right. And see, a lot of people don't know this, but yeah, you and I go way back, and whenever I do a show on television in the early days of those comedy shows, Evening at the Improv and all that, I'd do a performance, and then you and I would talk almost immediately after it aired, and you'd give your 2 cents and be very brutally honest, supportive but brutally honest. And I'll never forget the after doing the Tonight Show for the first time in April of 1990 with Carson. Huge night, Friday night, Bob Hope, B.B. King, me, and it couldn't have gone any better for me at that time. But Lisa just sent me a note. Wonderful comments about the convention. Is she being sarcastic?
No, I don't think so. Well, they were wonderful comments.
What did I say? I don't know what I said. Okay, thanks. She's usually snarky when she texts.
Well, but I think she's right. Lisa, go ahead and comment on the comments, and I'll
okay,
read
hold on.
that.
So I'll get back to that. So the Tonight Show, and I remember going, and I lived by myself in a rented room with a family that was friends of friends back in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this one little sad, tiny little room and a bathroom. That was me. I was on the Tonight Show. And then so you and I talked afterwards, and you gave me your thoughts on it and blah blah after it aired, and it aired 3 hours earlier on your coast, on the East Coast, and so it was fairly early in California, And then I don't know if I've ever told you this, but Lisa just said no snark. But then, you know who the next guy to call me was?
Rumba, right?
Bob Rumba.
Yeah.
And we spoke for a moment, and he goes, hey, it's kind of weird right now, isn't it? I go, what? He goes, well, just a couple of hours ago, you were like on top of the world, like in front of the nation, doing your show and killing and doing great. And now what? I'm like, yeah, thanks, Bob. I'm alone in my room.
What I love about that just now, your pauses were exactly correct too. The way you would have said it. In fact, if you remember, and this is not going to shock you, I watched it in the bar when you were on it, and then I had to run home and call you.
That's right. Didn't have a cell phone. Yeah. You guys,
Yeah. We're with a bunch of, which was actually the greatest way to watch it, because we watched it with like 15 other strangers who just absolutely lost it.
No, that's nice.
And I got home and my mother-in-law was said that guy named Jeff called you. That's all she said. She meant nothing to her.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, it has been, you have been a longtime friend of the convention. I have treasured our friendship. You have been a longtime friend of the museum. And, certainly the museum is missing.
I love going every year to the convention, every year to the museum. And Annie and Tom and Lisa have just done an amazing job making that place alive. And the fact that, we're getting close on the money, people should send their donations. We're this close to reaching the budget. And so I it's going to be great when they expand it and make it bigger. And so all the dummies can fit there. It'll be even more fantastic. So who knows when the next convention will be? Hopefully it'll be next year. And it's always so much fun to hang out with everybody there. And what makes it good is there's a handful of weirdos too.
I don't even know where I want to stack up on that one. So whatever.
Well,
okay,
it's the people. That's what I tell the press all the time. It's the people that are way too serious. Way too serious. It's like, come on, look at what we do for a living. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, come on. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
It's always my most wonderful moment in business when I'm in a meeting and somebody goes, "So Bob tells me you're a ventriloquist. Let me see you do something." Absolutely favorite moment. So yeah, good. Well, listen, I don't want to hold you up. I could talk for hours. We could talk about all kinds of stuff. It is. We've kept you long enough, but I want to thank you so much. By the way, I asked the guys at the station today, what should I ask Jeff about? And they wanted me to ask you about. The chief said, ask him about his car collection. So we'll do that for the South Hero Fire Department some other time. But that was their question.
Okay. Sounds great.
As I'm sitting here, in fact, the reason I couldn't hear you before is there's like all kinds of stuff going on and my pager's going off. So
Did you say your pager's going off?
My pager. Well, hold on a second. Not the kind that you used to have back in the day.
Pager?
This is my fire department.
Pager. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Freaking pager.
Wait a minute. Let me print something out of my dot matrix printer over here and I'll read it to you.
Okay. That's really nice. All right. The laser.
I've changed the batteries on my laptop.
My laser disc is skipping. Hold on. Oh, wait. I got to show everybody. Okay. This is going to be funny before we leave. All right.
All right. I'm going to give you the big screen. Here we go.
Do you know what that is?
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the thing that made the dinosaur out of plastic?
Yeah. It was at the New York World's Fair. In 1963, 4. Anyway, so I got the whole machine. It works fantastically, and you put in your 25 cents, and you end up getting one of these.
Yeah, I remember it. I was at that World's Fair, dude. Believe it or not.
So was I. I still have 3 of those things. But hold on. Here's what I want to show you. So we're making jokes about. This is like. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, ready? What are we looking at?
Oh, 8-track tape player.
8-track tape, along with my masks.
Yeah.
Those are actually Walter's masks that I would in the very last shows. Walter would come out with a mask on. It would get a huge laugh. This is before it was serious. And then I'd take the mask off him and throw it to somebody in the audience. You know how valuable those things were?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hold on. That was one. Hold on a second. Wait. Here's my quadraphonic stereo.
Oh my gosh.
All right, with my quadraphonic 8-track player. hold on, it's getting better. And look at what I got here, buddy.
Oh man. Oh man.
Hold on, let's dip into the barrel and see what I come out with.
Pull something out.
All right, what do we got? Oh, look at that. It's John Lennon's Imagine. Hold on. We can do better than that. Hold on. There's Alice Cooper.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Oh, there's Gordon Lightfoot, the Doobie Brothers, Steve Miller, Jim Croce. Oh, wait. No, Matt. Not Matt. Sorry, Al. This is for you, buddy. It's the Carpenters.
Oh, close to you. I've often said when I'm with you, why do birds suddenly appear? I never figured out what it was. Dude, you just said something that blew my mind. You went to the New York World's Fair?
Yeah. I was like, what was I? 3 years old?
Yeah, I remember giving you a glancing dirty look as you walked past me in the promenade there.
Well, my parents took me there. Yours didn't.
Yeah, they actually did take me to that. So
oh, that's
in New York, yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I have just this inkling of a memory of it. And I did stand at that machine with my grandfather, and we made 3 dinosaurs, and I still have them.
Dude, I had those dinosaurs. I swear to you, I did. I don't think I have them anymore. Or if I do, they're long.
I have every single mold of all the dinosaurs.
Well, that you got to make. Well, I'll send you 25 cents.
Okay, great.
I actually have I have some kind of a thing that some artwork somebody did of me wearing a Mets hat at the World's Fair back then. And the thing that I remember was we all went into a room and made a speakerphone call to my grandmother. That was the big technology.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. That was very cool. Yeah.
Well, great job. Thanks.
Well, Jeff, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate it. I'm going to ask folks to stick around, but when Jeff leaves, we're going to show the convention video. But until next time, Jeff Dunham, thank you very much. Tons of comments, people just loving what you do, and we appreciate you being at the convention once again.
Let me do my commercial. Go to jeffdunham.com, or especially my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel, and there are all kinds of fun videos there, and merchandise is at the website. And anything, the merchandise, if it's not from my store on my website or from my store on Amazon, it's fake. Those masks are all fake. I have not come out with a mask yet. We will. So please don't support those folks.
Can I put the email? Can I put the email address on the screen? I have it up ready to go.
Yeah, sure.
You ready? Here we go.
Yep. Fake merch. If you want to report it, we have an ongoing thing to try and take these guys down. And it's multiple companies. You would not believe. We send a cease and desist average of 2,000 letters a week.
God almighty. That's insane.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's every artist out there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it started with me knocking out on people selling T-shirts in the mall back in the day, and now I just emailed this twice in the past day.
Yep. Nope. It's awful.
So people ought to do that. That will help. Great.
Let's leave on a good note. Great job again.
Yeah. Good note is how did those race car beds go over? They go over pretty big?
Oh yeah, I put together Jack's race car bed, and James is getting a bunk bed. Yeah, they had to graduate. They were still in their tiny little beds.
Oh, wait a minute. Huh? They don't both have race car beds? I just imagine.
No, James doesn't care about cars. They are polar opposite.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so Jack got the race car bed, and James is getting a bunk bed. And no,
tell me it's going to be shaped like a fire truck, please.
No fire truck, dude. I told Audrey if they all 3 leave the house, they're going to come back and find me sleeping in Jack's little car bed
with a helmet on. Yeah,
the lights go and it makes noise. It's awesome.
Oh my God, that's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. Good stuff. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate it. Take care.
Okay.
All right, take care. Bye. Well, I think you would agree that was absolutely amazing having Jeff on here. Always willing to give to our group of folks. If you have not given a chance to tell where you are watching from, I wish I could could have put all your comments up there during Jeff's time, but it's just really hard. So many are flowing through. But if you're joining us from a foreign nation to America, if you're in America, tell me where you are. But this is an international, always ventriloquist convention. So we'd love to hear where you're watching this from right now. In a few minutes, I'm going to play for you a video from Vent Haven Museum that I'd like you to see. Yes, we're running over, but hopefully you're in the comfort of your home, in your living room someplace. So certainly, we got somebody here from Connecticut. That's awesome. Good stuff. In Spain, that's great. Let me get that one up there. Good deal. Come on, Spain. You keep jumping away from me. There you go. No, you're welcome. Saratoga, New York. Good deal. We're going to see you, Bill, because I have my daughters down that way. Someone from Michigan. Sorry, I'm an Ohio State fan, but I love you anyway. Arizona. Look at that. Here's somebody from Holland. Outstanding. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you. Oregon. I get out there quite a bit, Kenny. When things are back to normal, we'll get together and say hi. There's my good pal Dale Brown, who I love so much, and Tom Pace, my new friends, amazing. Sue Johnson, thank you so much for allowing us to broadcast on your channel. Eddie's, I hope you're enjoying yourself out there. I watch your fishing expeditions, Jacksonville, Florida. What did someone say? My bedroom in New Jersey. I don't know who you are, but that's interesting. New York City, excellent. Huntsville, Alabama. We've got somebody here from Massachusetts. Hi, Steve. Let's see. We have Castle Rock, Colorado. Someone from Pennsylvania. Oklahoma. Thank you, Jim, for being here. Cassandra is here from Sacramento, California. Sherry on Long Island. That's great stuff. Good deal. St. Louis, Missouri. Barry's watching us in Washington, D.C. So we can't see your name tag. So isn't this a fun way to do this? See who's here. Roger, hey, I love that eagle. I have eagles in my neighborhood where I live here on the lake. I'm going to go back up on top here for a second and see who I might have missed. Let's see. Here you go. Jared McLean joining us from Illinois. That's great. Somebody else from Michigan. So that's just awesome. Go back down the bottom of the feed here real quickly. North Andover, Massachusetts or England? That's what I want to know. Orlando, super good to see you. Greenwood, Indiana. This is just awesome. Clinton, Iowa. Great. That's fantastic. There's my friend Mike Palma. Hi, Mike. Larry's here from South Carolina. Worley, you tell me where you're watching us from. That's awesome. Oh, there's Carol Green. Hi, Carol, one of our convention regulars. Jason. Whoops, Jason, you snuck away from me there. Let me get back to Gary then. Barb, hello, how are you? Oh, she says hi to Wilma. There you go. Good. Here's someone from South Africa. That's awesome. It's got to be the middle of the night there. Worley is from Brazil. Brazil, you are on a similar time zone to us, I think. So that's pretty great. And Ventura, California. So that's awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, give me a moment here. I am going to put up a video from the museum. I'll be back for one short time after that. And then we're going to have the final word from our convention chairman, Mark Wade. So let me go back to the video I was playing before. I wanted to keep us on time. It's going to take me a moment to set it up. I do apologize if I kind of flub it here a bit. And I'm going to mute my mic right now, and I'm going to bring that video back.
To the Ventriloquist Convention every year is our trip over to see the fabulous Venthaven Museum. Its buildings filled with memorabilia, puppets, vent figures, and everything and anything related to the art of ventriloquism. Right now you're going to get a virtual tour of that museum by Annie Roberts, who's one of our board members, and of course Lisa Squeezer, who's the curator. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your virtual trip to Venthaven.
Everybody, it's Convention Saturday, and we wish that you guys were here with us.
So an upside of a virtual convention is that we get to give you a virtual tour.
Ta-da! We picked 6 stories to tell you this time, hoping to tell you stories of inspiration and community and connection.
Of legend, family, and destiny.
I think it's going to be fun. You ready?
Yeah, let's go take a tour. Every ventriloquist has an inspiration, someone who inspired you to get started in the first place.
For Jimmy Nelson, that was Bob Evans and his dummy, Jerry O'Leary. In the magnificent biography, Jimmy Nelson's Celebration, 70 Years of Laughter by Tom Ladshaw, he outlines the specifics about how the relationship with Jimmy and Bob evolved over time.
So the short version is that Bob Evans was performing in Chicago in the 1940s, and he was doing 4 shows a day. Well, Jimmy didn't just go to one show. He would go to all 4 shows, watching him, studying him. And the result of that was that he learned 3 major things that changed his career as a ventriloquist.
One of them was he changed the name of his dummy to Danny O'Day. After seeing Jerry O'Leary, that was his 3rd Irish boy that he was familiar with. Charlie McCarthy, Jerry Mahoney, and then Jerry O'Leary. He thought they all had to be Irish names. So he changed his dummy's name to Danny O'Day, the name we all know. Second was the use of a falsetto voice. Jerry O'Leary had that, and Jimmy was inspired to raise Danny's voice, so that's the source of that. And then finally was the whole attitude of Danny O'Day. Jerry O'Leary was kind of a smart aleck kind of kid, and Jimmy really liked that effect, so that is how the personality of Danny O'Day was impacted.
That's amazing. I'm sure that you have inspirations, and we hope that you will share with us your stories of those vents who inspired you to get started, just like Bob Evans and Jimmy Nelson.
Absolutely. Let's go see another one.
Okay.
I'm going to start the video from the beginning. I unmuted my mic here to let you know we had just a technical difficulty with sound. So we got the whole thing straightened out. We're going to start the museum video over again so you can catch the whole thing because it's too darn important. So here we go.
Hi, everybody. It's Convention Saturday, and we wish that you guys were here with us.
So an upside of a virtual convention is that we get to give you a virtual tour.
Ta-da! We picked 6 stories to tell you this time, hoping to tell you stories of inspiration and community and connection.
Of legend, family, and destiny.
I think it's going to be fun. You ready?
Yeah, let's go take a tour. Every ventriloquist has an inspiration, someone who inspired you to get started in the first place.
For Jimmy Nelson, that was Bob Evans and his dummy, Jerry O'Leary. In the magnificent biography, Jimmy Nelson's celebration, 70 Years of Laughter by Tom Ladshaw, he outlines the specifics about how the relationship with Jimmy and Bob evolved over time.
So the short version is that Bob Evans was performing in Chicago in the 1940s, and he was doing 4 shows a day. Well, Jimmy didn't just go to one show. He would go to all 4 shows, watching him, studying him. And the result of that was that he learned 3 major things that changed his career as a ventriloquist.
One of them was he changed the name of his dummy to Danny O'Day. After seeing Jerry O'Leary, that was his 3rd Irish boy that he was familiar with. Charlie McCarthy, Jerry Mahoney, and then Jerry O'Leary. He thought they all had to be Irish names. So he changed his dummy's name to Danny O'Day, the name we all know. Second was the use of a falsetto voice. Jerry O'Leary had that, and Jimmy was inspired to raise Danny's voice, so that's the source of that. And then finally was the whole attitude of Danny O'Day. Jerry O'Leary was kind of a smart aleck kind of kid, and Jimmy really liked that effect, so that is how the personality of Danny O'Day was impacted.
That's amazing. I'm sure that you have inspirations, and we hope that you will share with us your stories of those vents who inspired you to get started, just like Bob Evans and Jimmy Nelson.
Absolutely. Let's go see another one.
Okay. So one of the things that we strive for here at Vent Haven is connection, and we hope that all the ventriloquists feel connected to the museum. Shorty Jones here, used by Augustus Rapp, is a great example of that.
Yeah, Augustus Rapp and Mr. Berger were really good friends. And when Augustus sent Shorty to the museum in 1957, it was with this great connecting note. He said, "Here is Shorty, my only son. He was a good boy for 50 years. If he ever talked back to me, it must have been my fault. Give him a nice warm place by the bathroom."
By the bathroom?
What bathroom? In response, Mr. Berger said, "You may be assured that Shorty will be taken care of like one of our own children."
And in fact, Mr. Berger even sent Augustus Rapp a check to cover the shipping, but said that the sentimental value of Shorty cannot be estimated because really, to a ventriloquist, your dummy is priceless.
Yes. We hope you feel as connected to Vent Haven as Augustus Rapp did.
Yeah. Let's go find another one.
I got one. As all of you know, Vent Haven isn't a local collection or even a national collection. Vent Haven is an international representation of all of the history of ventriloquism. Mr. Berger worked very, very diligently to communicate with ventriloquists from around the world so that Vent Haven would represent the entire community of the art.
Yes. Taka-chan here is a great example of that. She was used by Megumi Takahashi from 1981 until 2001 and then donated in 2002. Megumi studied under Reverend Noda, who is the father of modern ventriloquism in Japan, essentially the Edgar Bergen of their country.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's do another one.
Yeah, here we go.
One of the legends in ventriloquism history was Fred Ketch. This is his dummy, Jerry J. Jerry.
In news events in 1975, when Fred Ketch passed, Walt Berlin wrote a tribute, and he described Fred Ketch. He said that he had an unusual skill. He was self-taught, but he was able to do a double voice and even triple voice harmony without any artificial aids, and he did the act that way for years.
In the 1960 Oracle, the entire act is described. And the way that it would end was that Fred and Jerry would be on stage at the end of the act to sing How Dry I Am. And at the end, the last stanza, the last chorus, his stage partner Edith would come out and she would actually take Jerry J. Jerry off stage with her, and Fred would stay using that double voice to finish out the song.
I'm going to try at this time to demonstrate the double voice or the triple voice when the three of us are on at the same time, singing Sweet Adeline. Sweet Adeline, my Adeline, my Adeline, my Adeline. At night, dear heart. At night, dear heart. For you I pine. For you I pine. In all my dreams. In all my dreams. Your fair face Oh, hey, don't lose your head, kid. Don't lose your head. That's all you got left. You're the idol. Sweet Thank you.
Pretty incredible achievement.
That is an amazing talent.
I've got another dummy I'd like to show you. Come on,
let's go.
One of our favorite dimensions of the Vent Haven collection is the sense of family that is here. And this dummy, Tommy Wood, is a great illustration of that. Tommy Wood was used by ventriloquist Gordon Kibbe in the 1940s and 1950s. Gordon Kibbe corresponded with W.S. Berger for decades, and they became really good friends.
This beautiful Marshall arrived in 2016 and was donated by Gordon Kibbe's daughter, Alva Hebel. It was a very emotional donation. Tommy had been in her family her whole life. It was her connection to her dad. So it was very emotional for us as well, because we know what is being asked of us: to care for a family member, to preserve the legacy, and to keep alive the memory of the ventriloquist represented here. This is George. He's one of two figures in the collection used by Norman Norton, who retired from ventriloquism in 1953. When he stopped doing vent, Norman Norton gave George and the other figure to his son, Jack.
That's a really common narrative here at Vent Haven, where the ventriloquist will give his or her dummies, to a child. The best part about the story, though, is what happened next. 60 years later, in 2013, I got an email from the nursing home where the son had been a resident, and they found documentation there where the son had decided that the best place for George and the other dummy were here at Vent Haven. I love the story of destiny that surrounds Vent Haven Museum.
We hope that your figure's destiny is here in W.S. Berger's fabulous collection. Thanks for watching.
We hope seeing these stories helps you feel a greater sense of community and connection to Vent Haven Museum.
We can't wait to see you at Convention 2021.
Bye.
Sorry, we keep having this audio issue that my mic isn't working. So I did ask the audio man to come check things out.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, here's the issue.
What's the issue?
The issue is you're an idiot.
You mean it's me?
Yeah, there's a button right there. You gotta push it so you can talk, okay?
All right. What is your name?
I'm Salvador.
Salvador, I'm really sorry I've messed this up, but it's just a crew of me. You were supposed to be here to help me out. Where you been?
And they're not collecting nuts.
I realize that, yeah. So anyway, Salvador, we are here for the International Ventriloquist Convention, Vent Haven Ventriloquist Convention. We're having it here virtually online. I appreciate all the help you gave me, except with the microphone.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, that's all right. It's my fault. So thanks for stopping by. You're welcome. Yeah, good. Thanks. Well, anyway, so that's Salvador. But anyway, folks, I was saying the sound is my fault. I'm sorry. I'm a one-man show here, and I do apologize. StreamYard is the technology we're using. Kind of new at it, so forgive me for some of the issues we had. But I think we did okay. I was saying to you that the museum is almost to that goal. Dwayne Eccles, if you're out there, Dwayne, go ahead and just shoot me a number real quickly. I'm watching the feed. Tell me about what number we are at. If you go on any of the pages you're watching right now, if you're in a Facebook group, World Vents, Ventriloquist Workshop, Ventriloquist Network, the Edgar Bergen fan page, some of the places we are watching this, Dwayne will post up there the campaign he's got going on. He hasn't closed it out yet. I think last time I looked, he was at $5,250. But I'm waiting for Dwayne, if he's out there, to go ahead and update us on where you are with the number, Dwayne. I'm watching. Here we go. Look at that. He answered. Yep, we're stuck on this for a couple of days, right? Right, Dwayne? Update me again. Tell me, are we stuck? It's been a few days since we're stuck there. So, folks, here's what I need you to do. Go find Dwayne's campaign. I'm sure he'll refresh it again now that I'm talking about it. Donate. Look at it this way. If you've come to the convention every year and you haven't come this year, spend a meal. Go ahead and send, on Dwayne's campaign, send the museum a couple of bucks to keep the amount up. And so please do that. And then, if you have never been to the convention and just are thinking of coming, maybe put a little down payment on the joy that we have here, and that would be outstanding. I really would appreciate you doing that. So, Dwayne, I'm going to ask you to go to the trouble of putting your campaign back up on top of some of the pages right now, and folks can donate. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud, despite some of the mess ups I've had here today. Here, you know what? That makes it easy right there. Let me put that up on the screen. You can also go right to Vent Haven and donate right there. venthaven.org//donate. And you can make a donation there. You can find Dwayne's campaign. Any way you want to do it, it is appreciated. Oh, here's a great question. Are adoptions still available? Yes, Steve Rogan, great question. If you adopted a dummy and you have not heard from Lisa yet, go ahead and reach out to Lisa. If Lisa's watching right now, Lisa, just type out your email on there and put it in the comments. It makes it easier for me to put it up there. But adoptions are renewing right now, and adoptions are available for you to take. I think it's curator@venthaven.org. Here we go. Lisa's right on top of it. Email her at curator@venthaven.org. You can renew the adoption that you had. You can adopt a dummy that would be available. Lisa, remind me, we talked about it the other night, but is it 27 new donations this year? So that means 27 new possible figures and puppets that you can do that on. So please go ahead and tell me. I think it's 27 what the number is, but I feel like we're running a telethon right now. But we want to certainly see everybody donate to Vent Haven and make that new building become a reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I had a few people who commented. I love just seeing where you're watching from. I'm going to go back up the feed here a little bit. I saw a few people in some places. Lots of people telling me to unmute. Yes, thank you very much. I really don't have a lot to say anyway. Let's see here. I saw a few people. I guess I missed them. Here we go. Yeah, I had a few people who dialed in from other places. Let's see here. Way up. Nope. All right. Well, there's some new comments below. Maybe a few other people put that in there. But yeah, here we go. 27 new dummies in the class of 2020. So that is outstanding. Terry Hay, look at that. I'm going to put that up there. I've already readopted all my dummies and donated an extra $100 in memory of Pete Michaels. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Here's someone from Cape Town, Africa, too. I'll just put that up there. We lost some folks the past few years. We've lost Pete Michaels, who that was just said in the memory of Pete Michaels. We lost Pete. We lost Alan Seamock. We lost Jimmy Nelson, our beloved Dean of Ventriloquism, Jimmy Nelson. We lost Bob Isaacson not all that long ago. Jerry Lane. These are folks who are members of our board of advisors, in addition to some other folks in the event world that we have lost. So we just take a few minutes to just remember those folks. Stacy Michaels, we know you're out there. Stacy stays very involved, and we love you, and we love the kids, and we hope to see you in person. But yeah, I don't want to leave without mentioning some of the folks we lost this year. So very, very difficult having lost some of our dear, dear friends. And we still have some folks who are checking in here from other places. So Mike Vega there from Houston. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. Absolutely amazing. A question, maybe a figure maker donated a dummy to raffle off. Roger Davis, that's a great idea. We were just talking about that. Stand by, that might happen. So that's a really, really good idea, and we like it. With that, I didn't mention somebody who we just lost. Thank you, Tom. We just lost a very dear friend of of ventriloquism, a very dear friend of Vent Haven, of the convention, somebody who is my very dear friend. And Tom reminds me, Kelly Asbury. Kelly passed away just a few weeks ago. He was a member of our board of advisors. Kelly wrote the book Dummy Days that I cherish. And so, yeah, that's the most recent member of our board of advisors that passed away. And Kelly, a dear, dear gentleman, and a guy that I loved very much personally. And I have a big collection of the children's books he did over the years. You might know Kelly from his work. He was the co-director of the second Shrek movie, Spirit, the Stallion of the Cimarron, and a few others. So, yeah, it's been a difficult year. While we don't want to end certainly on a sad note, we want to remember the people that really make such a difference to ventriloquism. All the people that I mentioned are such dear friends of ours. We don't get to see each other as often as we'd like to in person. This year has been difficult. I'm so glad my friend Mark Wade, also someone just pointed out we lost Bob Mager this year as well too. Yep. So we've lost a lot of folks, but yes, I will, Jerry. I'll mention that. Jerry says, please mention the show with Lynn Trevsker and I at the theater in New Jersey. We are planning as long as we are able to have the show in November. If not, we'll reschedule it. Planning to do a fundraiser for Vent Haven in memory of Alan Seamock. And I think we're probably going to include Pete Michaels in that memoriam to New York area people who mean so much to us in ventriloquism. And Lynn and I are working with Daniel and Jerry Abramson to do that. So more to come on that. Look at that. This is kind of like a telethon. There is a donation from Joel Botwinick, who just donated. Thank you so much, Joel, for hopping right on that and doing that. That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, some names still to remember. Mike Bros, who made so many people their own, becoming their own figure makers. We lost Mike. So, yeah, it's been a tough year, folks. It's been a really difficult year. COVID has caused us not to be together right now. We want to be together in the future. I'm happy to tell you that the dates for next year's convention have already been picked. I believe it's the 14th through the 17th are the dates. So that is outstanding. Here's another thank you to Timothy Randall for adopting Taka-chan. I think is one of the new figures in the collection. So that's outstanding. Good stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on as it relates to COVID and not getting together. But here's a great way to stay in touch. We'll be doing some more video interviews coming up. There is an interview coming up with Tom Ladshaw, who's just a font of knowledge. I'm going to be with Landon Harvey, who you saw his video earlier, on Monday night. In fact, Salvador is going to be there as well by request. So we'll see you on Landon Live. You have to like his page, and he'll also post those on some of the pages that you're watching this right now on, but we'll be doing that. And then I have an interview coming up that has been long overdue. A guy who, I don't know, he trolls me on Facebook constantly. Some of you probably know who it is. I won't announce it right now, but that's coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I want to please now just share one more video with you. Give me a second to set that up, and I'm going to share with you the man who gets the final word. I want to thank all of you for being here today. My name is Al Gettler. I'm a member of the Board of Advisors at Vent Haven Museum, and I just absolutely love our art and love all the people that surround it. So we will certainly, see you all very, very soon. So let me go ahead and start this video and share it with you, and you'll see why it's so important that we end on this video. Here we go.
Well, everybody, that's our taste of the Vent Haven Convention. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you watched and learned something. I want to thank all that participated in this event. We had a great time, and we'll see you in 2021 at the Vent Haven Convention. The dates are July 14th and 17th. So write it down on your calendar, and we'll see you soon at Vent Haven.
You may have heard that he is a great man. That's Mark Wade and Jody in Florida. We love you both very, very much. We will see you next year. Folks, thanks again for being here. By the way, this video will replay in the very place you're watching it right now. And Tom Crowl will also make sure that it's placed on the convention website soon. So with that, be safe, take care, and we love you all. Bye-bye.